Good morning.
There it is.
Time for the Opie and Anthony Show. That's good to know we didn't get fired during the weekend.
That was good. Always feels good when the key card works, but...
Or on Friday's show, someone got knocked out or fainted or something. We'll get into that a little later.
Oh, my God. I forgot that was Friday. Yeah, when I checked out on everything. We'll talk about it later, but briefly. Just after I finally got word on what the summation was on the whole thing, I was just pissed. Yeah, it was like everything's, what it was. Fun.
Right. Yeah, we'll explain a little bit later. The fainting goat.
Yeah.
Now I think I see it a whole different way. I should have listened to Danny the first time.
Yeah, that's what he is.
A little later, but good morning. Opie and Anthony, 877-212-018. I got to start with Friday night, Anthony.
Friday night.
We were doing live reads for this this bull riding thing.
Yeah.
And someone in my life, not my wife, got
Mistress?
Mistress, sure. She heard about it, wanted to go. So I'm like, you know what? I got some pull. I'll get us some bull riding tickets.
Yeah.
For the PBR. Never heard of the PBR. Every once in a while, you come across it on TV, and it's worth watching for about 2 minutes. But I guess this PBR thing is huge.
Professional bull riding.
It's kind of like NASCAR with bulls, I guess.
Yeah.
They just go around the country riding bulls, and there's a point system, and there's leaders. And I thought they just kind of did it as like a spectator sport and did it for fun, and that was it. But no, they take it very seriously. There's a lot of money up for grabs, and It's marketed very well, and nice presentation. So I went to Madison Square Garden with a bunch of us. It was like
Madison Square Garden.
There was like 6 of us. Sat there pretty much in the front row to watch the PBR. And I'm not going to say I was hooked, but I was pleasantly surprised. This is a cool thing to check out.
Guys riding giant monster bulls.
Giant monster bulls.
Yeah.
You said it. 2,000-pound bulls.
That are just angry.
Well,
they're not happy to be there.
Well, I'm just a kid from Long Island, and you lived out there in California. You lived like a cowboy for a little while, so you have a little more knowledge than I. I had no idea what they did to the bulls to get them so angry. Well, I thought bulls by nature were just angry beasts, and that's and they couldn't help themselves. And as they're in the just living their lives, they would just have to buck all the time, like I'm angry.
You ever see a bull out in the pastures or anything? They're just grazing. That's all they want to do: graze and have sex with cows.
Yeah.
That's all they want to do. And then you throw them in with some people, and all of a sudden they're bucking and trying to stab you and everything else.
They're cows with a lot of lumps on them. That's all they are. And they just want to be left alone. But, of course, us stupid humans, and I'm not an animal rights guy. I think some of the crap we do to animals is despicable, but I'm not going to be the rah guy ever.
Nah.
I'm sitting there going, wow, they're beating the crap out of the bull before they even open the gate.
Yeah.
And you told me old school they used to hit them with a cattle prod or something?
They'd get them with the cattle prod right when the gate opened to get them like out of the gate.
Yeah.
So you'd sit on them. That's the most dangerous point in bull riding is just getting on the bull.
Right.
When he's in that paddock area before the gate opens up. And then there's a whole ritual. All these guys have this very ritualistic thing of how they hold on to the rope that's wrapped around the bull. Their hand has to be in there perfectly. It's almost like, you ever watch professional arm wrestlers, and they got to get their fingers just right?
Oh, yeah.
They got to get that hand so it feels perfect in that around that rope.
Yeah.
And during that time, the bull sometimes starts bucking in the pen, and you're just getting thrown around inside a metal and plywood pen area.
Yeah.
So it does get a little dangerous.
And if they get thrown off the side, they're in problems, right? If they get thrown off in the pen.
Oh, yeah, if they get thrown off in the pen. It rarely happens.
Yeah, they got enough people in there that are kind of, making sure that everybody's safe, except for the bull.
It's happened, though.
And then you got the bull rider I saw the bulls getting kind of hit, punched.
Yeah,
because they got to get them angry. Because
they got to get them mad.
Ant was explaining this to me. It's an 8-second ride if you make it to the end, And I'm like, well, a lot of guys did the 8-second ride, but they got better scores. And Ant's like, oh, it's how you have your hand in the air. It's how you're riding the bull.
You got to spur their neck as you're riding to the rhythm of their bucking.
Mm-hmm.
You have to like roll your spurs on their shoulders and on their neck,
right?
Which means you're leaning back pretty far,
right?
And then how the rhythm of your body is going with the rhythm of the bucking. There's a whole thing that the judges look for.
Just amazing. Then that gate opens and all hell just breaks loose because the bull just wants not even the guy off his back. He wants the strap that's pretty much wrapped around his ball bag.
Yeah, they call it like a flank strap.
Right.
It's supposed to just be if you tie a rope around a bull's hindquarter right in front of his rear legs.
Yeah.
He finds that very disturbing and makes him angry. But during the course of history, I guess someone thought an idea of making him really angry is to maybe get some of his more sensitive parts
as close as possible
to that rope as possible. And like I said, they used to, when they'd open the gate, there was a guy that would stand there by the paddock and just wham, jolt him with a cattle prod, and that would really make him angry.
And Peter was able to take care of that and make sure they didn't do that anymore.
Yeah,
as far as like the professional leagues go.
As far as I know.
I'm sure, on some ranch somewhere in the middle of nowhere where no one's looking, I bet you they still go old school with this bull riding.
How did Peter want them to do it, where they put the guy in the bull and he just walks out and eats hay, and then the guy waves at the crowd?
Guy waves, tips his hat.
And it's weird. As soon as the bull gets rid of the rider and the straps, he just kind of walks around.
He runs around a little bit. And
now he's okay.
Usher him into the little other pen area.
Yeah, and he goes back to doing whatever he does when we're not bothering him.
They talk to the other bulls. Oh, I sucked.
Yeah. But I was pleasantly entertained. I thought it'd be like, all right, let's just go. Let's get this over with. But it was all right.
It's pretty wild watching that, especially live like that.
Yeah.
Like you said, on TV, you watch. After a few, it just becomes like, whatever.
When these things come out, you're like, oh, my God. And there's something about age. That God thing sucks. Why can't he keep us all put together nice right to the end of our lives? You see it in everything. And all of a sudden they announce some bull that's been on tour for, I don't know, a decade, 12 years, whatever.
Legendary.
He comes out. He can't really take care of himself anymore. He's a little askew.
Oh, really?
And his male part. There was one bull that came out. His male parts were this close, and I'm showing maybe 4 to 6 inches from dragging in the dirt. And you want to talk about, this thing was swinging.
Oh. That's great.
Where everyone started laughing in my area, like, are you seeing that? I'm like, yeah. How could you not
Look
see
at the
that?
Size of those.
Just whoa, 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 whoa.
Did he have normal sized legs?
What, the bulls?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were just
That's
genetic wonders.
That's not very impressive if he has like little teeny legs.
Little teeny legs. That's where I got the idea for the song Pendulum.
I was prepping another kind of bull.
They kept swinging back the other way.
I'll tell you who's tiny is the bull riders themselves. Because they put their stats, I guess. That's important. I don't know.
Yeah.
And most of these guys were under like 5'6". They were 5. One guy was like 5'3". He looked like a little midget.
Yeah,
after they got off the bull.
They found after a while that a lower center of gravity obviously works better for these guys,
right?
Than to have a long, lanky guy up there where, forces of physics work on you a little more than if you're shorter and closer to the bull's back.
I'd like to see Shaq on top of one of those bulls. Just get a monster on top of the monster.
What I was told during my illustrious bull riding career.
You actually got on one of these things?
Oh, many of those things. That's what I did in California.
Wait,
also.
You actually did actual bull riding?
Oh yeah.
Not like PBR style.
No. I rode bulls.
But you got a good ride?
Got on there, and I think I stayed on for 8 seconds once, but the bull was just kind of trotting. Mm-hmm. It was one of those dud bulls that come out and didn't do anything.
Yeah, there were a few of those.
But for the most part, you're mad because, the bull's ruining it for you. But, you follow it. You follow his head. You look down at his head and follow and see which way his head's turning, and then you compensate with your body. Mm-hmm. But they can move their head around pretty quickly. If they're spinning to the right and you're all adjusted for a right-hand spin, and then they go left, you will just fly off.
You're done. How are these guys not breaking their necks?
I don't know.
They
Like
obviously,
whiplash?
well, they obviously practice falling. I don't know how they do that, and I don't care. I don't need to do that
Right.
much research.
How do you know how you're going to fall when you're thrown up in the air?
But they're practicing because a lot of these guys, I saw that they were able to do some quick twists to make sure they're not breaking their necks.
Yeah.
But that I noticed, yeah.
Were they wearing the helmet, cowboy hats?
Yeah.
Wow. See that?
Oh, no. They were wearing, I'm sorry, like the college hockey masks.
Really?
Yeah. They call them
See?
the college hockey masks. Where
Old
they have
school? Because I've seen where they wear an actual helmet.
hockey helmets,
hat,
I should say. Right.
where the cowboy hat is on top of a helmet. And it's like old school.
Just
They
the
jump
cowboy
off
hat.
sometimes, land on their feet, take their hat and throw it at the bull's face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go screw you.
Look what I did to you.
Yeah, now there's all kinds of they wear Kevlar like chest protectors too, don't they?
I couldn't
Got some
tell.
kind of Kevlar, flak jacket almost, so they don't get stomped on by a hoof and
Right.
stops your heart. So I don't know. I think the old school stuff is a little more thrilling, a lot more chance taking.
I ran into some fans, and I was like, you guys go to this a lot? And they go, yeah, every time it comes to town. It's pretty cool to check out. And then the one guy was telling me that the New York Times, I think, did a whole story on this, and they were talking about the buckle bunnies. They're called buckle bunnies.
This is hysterical.
Because I guess after the bull riding, the guy's doing autograph signing and picture taking, whatever. And it's all about the buckle bunnies. Want to be with these guys.
So that's what the girls are that chase these cowboys around.
Yeah.
Me and Sam were laughing at the fact that they're called buckle bunnies because everything, all these chicks that are groupies for things have names, but the name has to be start with the same letter as who they're gunning for.
Right.
Like you got the lot lizards.
For the truckers out there.
Yeah. And then he told me the wrestlers have ring rats.
Ring rats. Well, we've been to a few WWE shows, and that's very accurate.
Yeah.
They are rats. Let's say hi to Bruce in Louisiana. Bruce.
Hi, Daddy.
Hey, Brucey.
You guys really got to check out the video of Tough Hedeman riding Bodacious from back in the 90s. That bull totally shattered, like, half the bones in his face.
Oh,
That's why they wear... Yeah, Bodacious. It's a big, like, yellowish white bull. That's why they wear the helmets now, because of basically because of that ride.
Really?
The bull bucks up, and Tough Hedeman got, thrown forward at the same time. And basically the bull hit him right square in the mouth and just broke half the bones in his face. If you ever watch him commentate, you can see half of his face is paralyzed now.
Oh, he's a commentator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a commentator now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was. Oh man, it's probably, I would say, one of the. You know how NASCAR fans go to the races for the wrecks?
Yeah.
Same premise.
Yeah, turn the monitor on. Danny found Bodacious footage on YouTube. We can link this certainly on onaradio.com. They had a bull on Friday night that's never been rode at.
Never been rode.
Well, it never made it.
Yeah?
I mean, the guy's having, what is it called when you get to the 8 seconds? Clean ride or something? Yeah, no one has been able to go the distance with this one bull.
Really?
Oh, yeah, and the dramatic music started, and no one has ever blah, 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 blah. But Bodacious, the undefeated rodeo bull video. Very cool, Bruce. We'll check that out.
God
All right, thank you,
damn.
guys.
All right,
Bye.
man. All right. Just getting started.
The bull riding. Are you?
Huh?
That's the one where he gets it.
Oh, this is the actual ride where the guy smashed his face? Okay.
Smashed his face in?
Well, now they're interviewing him.
Was it
so-
with a hoof? Did you get a hoof? What is it, a paw? What do they call that? A paw?
No, he
A hoof.
the guy explained what happened. The
I know.
bull. Oh,
I
okay.
was just doing a little Goodfellas.
Oh, look at me being stupid. All right, we're just getting started. 877-212-ONA. Yeah, we'll talk about the Golden Globes. Did you guys see Mickey Rourke won a Golden Globe? Yeah, we'll go down.
Yeah, he's back. He's the new thing now.
He ain't back.
He's back.
He ain't back. It was one of those roles that he was perfect for.
You think that's it, though?
Yes.
That's how Hollywood works, though. He's like the it guy now for 15 minutes.
Oh, like John Travolta when he did Pulp Fiction, and then he could go into other roles because he still looks like a normal dude. Mickey Rourke is such a disaster. This film was made for him. What is he going to do after this?
Play an alien.
All right, there you go. If those type of roles are around, sure, he's
Something else.
back. Who's going to cast this guy?
Play the guy that got his face stomped on by the bull.
All right, there's another role for the guy.
Biography.
You can't say he's back, though. There's not many roles this guy could take.
Oh, here it is.
They're talking about him as the villain.
Oh! Okay.
All right.
The bull.
All right. That guy, wow, is done.
He leaned forward or got thrown forward, and then the bull bucked up and smashed his face with the top of the bull's head.
Wow.
Which I can only imagine isn't that soft.
He's nuts.
It's not like a baby's soft spot on the top of a bull's head. Oh, my God.
Look at the bull having a ball, jumping up and down, kicking his feet around. They play dancing music for the bull. That's how he does that.
They do.
Fun.
Wow, look at his face. It's a bloody mess.
Good.
Bloody mess.
Got his dumb teeth knocked out.
The bull wins. The bull wins.
Certainly.
Oh, yeah, he's still screwed up. You see his face?
Yeah,
He's like,
Yeah, they did a good presentation, though, with the Metallica and everything. They played little snippets of some very cool rock and roll.
rock and roll.
You would think they would play like country, because this seems to be more of a country thing. But,
but in New York, I guess.
Maybe they adjust according to where they are, because it was all about Metallica and just heavy metal, just riffs.
Yeah,
these guys were doing their rides.
I heard on Winds they were talking to a couple of the cowboys that are walking around New York, just checking out New York, and they said some guy commented on their hats and said, hey, nobody wears a cowboy hat here in New York. And one of the guys turns around and said, if you made as much money as this hat has made me, you'd wear one too.
Nice.
So he had a pretty good comeback.
Well, it's always weird when you see the cowboy hat in New York City.
It is weird when you see
It takes
that.
you out of it.
It's like, I bet you're not from here.
You do know you look ridiculous, right?
Which way is north?
You're in Dallas or something, you don't look ridiculous, because everyone is kind of doing it. But here in New York City, it is such a rarity to see that. It's very bizarre.
The cowboy hat.
Are you allowed to have pet bulls here in New York?
Imagine. All right, quick break. We'll continue. Big Blue blew it, huh?
God, what a disaster.
After that football game, I saw the most depressing movie ever. We'll have to discuss that.
Post-game wrap-up?
No, because I
The lowlights?
didn't care about either team, so who cares?
Sucked.
Eli didn't have a good game, huh?
Yeah.
Eli fizzled.
Bad play calls. It was just awful.
There was
Couldn't capitalize in the when they're close to the end zone. Missed a couple of field goals. Not like you could blame that guy. Geez, did he have his night cut out for him?
Yeah.
He had to make like five field goals, and he missed, what, 2? Jesus, give me a break.
So the football is just weird. You practice all year. It comes down to this game where now you got to play in freezing temperatures where you have to wear gloves and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have to deal with, in some cases, like a 50-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah. Now deal with it.
Now win this game for us.
Close all these stadiums up, please.
No, I don't want them to, though.
Well,
I love that it comes down to the weather sometimes.
pitches and catches in 1 month, so who cares?
Yeah, now we got the break for the most part.
Yeah.
Unless your team's still in this crap. There's maybe the Steelers I could take a peek at, maybe. Opie and Anthony, stay there. Good news. Bret Michaels, he's in a car on his way to the show. We love when he comes in with Big John. That Rock of Love is a monster for Bret Michaels. And one of our girls was on there last night.
Oh, yeah?
Taya, I think her name is, the penthouse chick we had completely naked in studio.
Right.
On the other side where we're allowed to still have naked girls.
Yeah.
And when we do have naked girls, all hell doesn't break loose.
For the most part.
Earth keeps on spinning and there's no real issue whatsoever. We're not allowed to have naked girls, but this Taya was on Rock of Love last night, and there was a blank shot happening.
Oh. Where?
Yes.
Oh, the big one.
Yeah.
They showed it? Or what, do they pixelate?
Yeah, they pixelate. They make sure you know that she's, there's a shot being done in a very unusual way.
Yes.
And we're not talking belly button. You got to think.
Yeah, but think a little lower.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Bret Michaels about that and some other things. Also, I don't think we're ready to take this on yet, but Danny, you got that? Listen to this for 2 seconds.
I remember this song.
was a hit for who? Debbie Boone?
Debbie Boone, I believe 1976. Little song by Debbie Boone.
No one has cared about this song in 30-some-odd years.
But you could not get away from it.
Right, well.
When it was actually out.
It's a nice song.
Wait till you hear about this song today.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear about this song today.
No, it wasn't Anne Murray.
Anne Murray.
No, she was wild.
Oh.
Anne Murray, they all
It was
sucked.
Debbie Boone.
That's right. Let's say hi to Jim in Cleveland, big football fan. Jim, how are you, buddy?
Opie.
Yeah.
You can't start talking about Pittsburgh, dude. You're going to ruin it.
You have nothing to worry about. I don't care enough about any of these teams left in the in the running here.
Dude, just don't say they're going all the way. Don't say those words.
I'll take a.
Promise me.
All I said was I'll take a little peek.
I know you have some loyalty toward Philly. I just know you do.
No, I really don't.
You have to now. Just for the fact that your in-laws probably have the loyalty to the Eagles.
See, you don't listen, Anthony. You don't listen.
What?
My in-laws, I've said it many times. They don't like the Eagles. They like the Dolphins. We did this whole break last week.
Yeah, but when you're from the city,
they're. I don't even know if they're pushing for the Eagles at this point because the Dolphins are out of it.
Yeah,
they're big Dolphins fans.
If the Dolphins were in it, then yeah, sure. But like you take all these teams out of the mix, you got to go somewhere. Right now, nothing.
No.
Now I won't even watch the Super Bowl. I could care less.
I'll watch for the commercials because they're always.
Oh, they're so cutting edge.
Cutting edge in a decade, and we still sit there like, no, you got to watch for the commercials.
Yeah.
And then you're disappointed year after year after year. When was the last time you went, wow, the commercials in the Super Bowl? That was amazing.
It was when Janet Jackson had her little slip.
Little booby slip?
That was it. And then they cracked down on everything.
Absolutely. Well, and now you got Bruce Springsteen, is it this year? Doing the halftime show.
That it?
No, Ann, I'm a diehard New York sports fan. I can't go Eagles, I can't go Phillies, and I can't go Flyers. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And Sixers, no. No, it ain't happening. It makes it more fun when I go to Philly because they rag me, I rag them, and boom.
I thought you'd have some kind of sympathetic thing going on.
No, if we have a kid, though, I got to push the New York teams into his head immediately.
Oh, that's a tough sell.
Immediately, I got to push it into his head.
Oh, going to be like a big Eagles fan and
no
Phillies.
I did that to
wearing the jerseys. I love how the relatives buy the kids their little jerseys as quick as possible. Little baby-sized jersey. Well, as a Yankee fan, shut up.
Hopefully you don't try to show them sports to you. I don't like sports.
Oh, no. Oh, that's great push.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get enough.
The Madoff push is great. He's still walking around.
Of that.
Yeah, judge just won't put him in jail.
They don't know what to do with this clown as he destroyed everyone's lives. Yeah. It seems pretty obvious to me. We stone him to death. At the very least, put him in jail for a little while.
Yeah, well, they're trying to do that. The prosecutor's trying to get him out of his posh apartment, house arrest, and actually put him in jail. Well,
there was a cute little story over the weekend. See, he's under house arrest, so he had to order takeout food, and the restaurant actually said that, well, we'll send you the food as long as you pay cash because your credit card isn't good here.
It's hysterical.
They actually reported that on the news as I'm drinking coffee yesterday. I'm like, yeah, it's really cute as people lost their fortunes. Getting back to the sports thing, I did that to my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is hardcore Ranger fan, and we're hardcore Islander fans. And little JD was born, and I was able to get in there early. And, lucky me, I'm fortunate enough to have season tickets to the Islanders, so I was able to get him to the games early on. He could barely talk, and I'm like, no, I'm going to make this happen. And I'm dragging him to Islander games. He's sitting 10 rows from the ice, enjoying the Islanders, right? And then when it was time for the Rangers, his father would bring him to the Garden or something in the nosebleeds. And he even said, he goes, I couldn't compete against this. You took my son away from me.
Yeah, you did.
He wanted his son to be a huge Ranger fan. And I was able to get in there early, and he is a hardcore Islander fan. And Mike tries to turn him around, and he refuses to change his affiliation from, to the Rangers. I got him.
Do you know when I was a boy, I was a Yankee fan and my dad was a Met fan? So he would put electrical charges to my genitals.
Yeah.
To try to make me change teams.
Did it work?
No, now I just like electric guitars.
I'm a big fan of that. Their jersey for it. See the logo?
Yeah, it's got a big a lightning zap, and the name is Ouch on the back. Oof. Glad I punched my way out of that wet bag.
Yeah, nice.
Although, lightning bolt.
What did I say?
Lightning zap.
What is a lightning zap?
It worked. I understood what you meant, so it didn't matter. But
Lightning.
I thought the lightning zap was pretty good.
All I could think of as I was doing it was San Diego Chargers. San Diego Chargers. Ugh. Fool.
After that Giants game, I guess I call it the Giants game because, we live up here. We decided to go to the movies because I had no desire to. Who won the second game? I didn't even have a desire to take a peek whatsoever. Who won? Oh, yeah, Pittsburgh. Who did they play?
35-24 over the Chargers.
San Diego. Yeah.
Stupid me. I'm thinking that Pittsburgh might have played on Saturday. That's how, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, they're the ones with the Zap logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lightning. Oof.
Went to the movie theater. Said, we'll figure it out when we get there. I saw the most depressing film ever. And I think we've talked about this on the show where when you go to the movie theater, you kind of want to be entertained.
Yeah.
You don't want to be dragged way the F down without maybe some type of message or something, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not into the depressing films where you leave just like, oh,
Dude,
God,
it was a packed house.
sucked.
And at the end of this movie, the old proverbial, you could hear a pin drop. Not one person was talking as everyone just walked out of the theater just depressed like, ooh. And then we went to dinner and just sat there and stared at each other. And we're never at a lack of, communication.
What was
communication? It was that Revolutionary Road with Kate Winslet and Leo DiCaprio. I even looked at my girl. I go, this has to be a chick flick, right? You just dragged me to a chick flick? She goes, honestly, no.
Right.
It's not even a chick flick. I go, there's not a guy in the world that would volunteer to go there or say, hey, let's go see Revolutionary Road. If you go with your girl or what have you, then sure, you're sitting there like I did. I would never see that movie.
Last one they did together was what, Titanic?
Oh, yeah.
So, it was a real put a smile on your face kind of movie, too.
They have a good history together, though.
Yeah.
Making movies.
Well, I think she won a Golden Globe for her performance, but who gives a crap? It was deeply depressing. It was about not having any hope left in your life.
Oh, yeah.
And then just a horrific ending. Just horrific. With no real message. There's no real uplifting ending to the movie to kind of, allow you to leave the cold, theater into the winter night.
It's all cold when you leave.
Just awful.
Dark and cold.
Dark and cold. It's 4:30. It's dark and cold, and you just saw this depressing mess. What is the synopsis? Because I don't even know how to explain this to people. Those who were waiting for the romantic reunion of Titanic's Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet
I know I was.
may be surprised by what they find in Revolutionary Road. The movie begins with a sweet scene where Frank DiCaprio and April Winslet meet at a party, but the rest of this drama, based on blah blah's novel, is devoted to watching the destruction of their marriage and themselves in 1950s suburbia. Frank works at a job he hates in New York City, then commutes home to 2 children and a wife who feels none of them belong in the cookie-cutter town. I cannot read this font. Their realtor, Kathy Bates, recognizes their specialness and introduces them to her mentally unstable son. Blah, blah, blah. It just goes on and on. Whatever. I don't even know why I'm talking about this.
I actually covered up, so no, I wanted to see it.
Don't go see this, Jimmy.
I love a depressing movie if it's good. I love a...
All right, go see. How about we do this? You go see Revolutionary Road in the next day or two. Come in here, and I'm gonna see what you thought.
Yeah, as long as it's good.
Kate Winslet, her acting is ridiculous. Leo DiCaprio takes you out of the movie because you're like, oh wow, he's a big Hollywood star living in the suburbs at a mediocre job he hates.
Yeah,
it's Leonardo DiCaprio. Looking all Hollywood and crap, and she looks the part of just a miserable housewife.
I'll see it. I like it. If a depressing movie is good, like if it really takes me there. I watched Once for Warriors over the weekend. It's miserable. I like a good depressing movie.
About Schmidt, depressing but hilarious. This just nothing good comes out of this movie in the end. Nothing. It just reminds you that, you have dreams when you're younger, and you get older, and you realize, oh wow, I don't have dreams anymore, and I'm stuck living. I have no more hope. That was the message, basically.
Fantastic.
And I think everyone in the theater felt that, like, wow, I remember when I wanted to be an actress. I remember when I wanted to be an astronaut. I was going to play for the New York Mets.
Yeah.
And now I'm stuck in a dead-end job with 3 kids living in suburbia.
Well, you never know.
Huh?
You never know what could happen.
No, this is all
it's just
about
no hope.
No, this was so
Okay.
obvious that whatever chance she had at being an actress was long, long gone.
Yeah.
It's like the Harry Chapin song, "Dreams Go By."
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Or he always wrote about just these miserable or something. Maybe it's just dreams. What's that called?
Yeah.
Some miserable song about how your dreams, and then you just kind of keep living life, and then by the end of it, you're old.
I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna lose your head over.
Yeah. Apparently, he dreamt of being part of a bumper, and certainly succeeded.
Yeah, no kidding.
The big winner though this weekend was Gran Torino, which I don't know, people are saying is the Anthony Cumia story.
Really?
Apparently, yeah.
That damn movie was sold out because I was ready to go to that. Or that Slumdog Millionaire, but we got stuck with this Revolutionary Road and
Clint Eastwood, it could be his last acting job, too.
Please.
He's saying he's getting a little old. He'll still direct and stuff like that, but...
remember when The Who said they were retiring?
Well...
It's just a thing to do now.
Yeah, you say you're going to retire and that's it?
Yeah.
Well, also his biggest grossing movie on an opening weekend ever out of any of his movies.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, he just plays a complete racist who goes around everywhere with his guns. And apparently he befriends his neighbors who are Asian, but still calls them horrific names. And then there's a storyline in there of how I guess he protects them in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Oh, good.
From Baghdad. But I hear the language is very gritty, raw, and what you would hear in the Cumia house on any given day.
No, they stop a little short, though, I heard.
Do they?
I heard they don't use the N-word.
What?
I heard they kind of stop a little short.
Not in the Cumia house.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
That's why I had to jump in here. They wouldn't let Clint Eastwood go all in with some of the language, I heard.
Well,
there was a little controversy over that.
Yeah, why would you in Hollywood want to have a believable guy like that?
If the character's going to be like this, then let him go all in and say what the character, people like that in real life would, say.
I guess he says he uses the word spooks.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, all the your standard Asian references.
That's the only one he uses for black?
Yeah. Well, that's all the information I'm getting right now.
Well, the controversy is that he didn't use the N-word, and people are like, well, this character would obviously use the N-word, so what's the problem?
Hey, you're right. You're right.
Of course he would. Oh, God.
So, but it did great, but then again, Bride Wars, that's tough. That's tough competition at the box office.
Kate Hudson.
Who went and saw that?
Stinks.
Yeah.
She stinks.
Been in some real lemons.
What has she put out that was remotely entertaining?
Almost Famous.
Exactly.
Almost Famous was have you ever seen Almost Famous?
Yeah, it was okay.
I love that movie.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't remember she was in it.
I almost did a little on demand and checked that out again over the weekend. Almost. She's done it's just the movie she picks, really. It's all chick movies. My Best Friend's Girl, that was a bomb, right? Fool's Gold, that was a bomb.
Fool's Gold.
Now, that looked good, though, with Matthew McConaughey.
Sat and watched that one.
You saw Fool's Gold?
I saw Fool's Gold.
Why?
You have a dress on?
What girl wanted to see Fool's Gold? I know you well enough that you're
Put it
not.
this way,
all the movies you can pick, you're not going to pick Fool's Gold.
It's one of the last movies before,
Oh, the breakup?
Yeah.
Before the summer romance
Before
is
the
done?
big party. Yep.
Oh, really? How
Yeah.
bad was it?
It was arguably one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Really?
Yes.
Why does she constantly address Matthew McConaughey's head size and hairline and yell yuck and point at it?
There was nothing there. It was so boring, long-winded, just no action.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. It sucked. What is that, harass?
She's so good to look at, though.
She's sexy.
Right.
I would go see one of these dumb Kate, I'd go see one of these movies just to look at her for 2 hours.
Yeah.
That time we had her in the studio, my God.
She's attractive.
She was also in You, Me, and Dupree.
Oh, that was starring Jimmy Norton's favorite actor, Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
with pursy lips. I love the fact that she dumped him, and he just took a whole bunch of whatever he took, tried to off himself.
Yeah.
I hope they get back together and she redoes it, but better this time. Dump him again.
Yeah.
She got her mom's boobs, though. None.
That's all right, though.
Yeah,
it's not always about the big
works good
boobs.
on her.
The rest of the package is okay, man. You can look past the tiny little
No,
boobies.
that's fine. It fits her body. It's great.
You know, when you were younger, it was all about the boobs. You get a little older and you understand, okay, there's more to a woman than big boobs. Hey, we got to step aside. Bret Michaels will be here in 2 minutes, and we only have him for like 15 or 20 minutes because he's a huge star. So, quick break. Come back with Bret Michaels on the Opie and Anthony Show. Stay there. You're checking out the Opie and Anthony Show. Very excited. Bret Michaels is in studio. I was just bitching about you recently.
Cool. Great.
I'm like, man, here he is. He's becoming a huge star again. And I'm like, look, he doesn't come on our show anymore. And Steve's like, no, he can't wait to come on the show. And certainly, here you are.
Look, I flew in red-eye, literally landed at JFK, and came. This is my first stop. There's no sleep involved here.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Damn.
And every
yeah.
time I'm here.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys,
You're right.
throw me under the bus.
I'm
every
just saying,
time,
you're
and
right.
I land, and you're usually the first stop.
You're right. It's my paranoia.
It was the 31st stop last time, but it was a stop.
It's my paranoia. We talk about it all the time. We get a lot of you guys, and they're sick of hearing this out there, but a lot of you guys on the way out. Then you become huge, and then you blow us off, and then we get you on the way back down.
Right.
That's how this show works, unfortunately. We want to ride one of these guys all the way.
I'm here.
All the way.
20 years, and I'm still riding with you.
Yeah, we've had you on for, I can't even count how many times.
I'm not big enough to hit the top yet. I'm not there yet.
Please.
So I'm going to...
You got one of the hottest shows on TV.
Let me know if you find that guy.
Well, Brett, it says here you're the lead singer of a band.
Of a rock and roll band. I'm the lead singer of a rock and roll combination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And combination. My dad said, "Are you getting a combo together or
Combo.
That red-eye flight is a bitch, huh? You didn't sleep
man.
at all?
I've never slept on a red eye flight. Everyone talks about it, and I think last time we were here, unfortunately, and I apologize, Big John is not here to strip for us again.
Yeah.
But his, I want to send this out to him because I know he's listening. His father is really sick, and so I just sent it out to John and his family and stuff like that. He's a good dude. But I think one of the last times we were here, we were going over to Iraq, and I didn't sleep. Not everyone. You know what makes you jealous is you're looking around and everyone else on the plane is either faking they're asleep, which is pissing me off, or they're asleep, and I'm looking around like, am I the only guy on this plane the only human on this plane not sleeping? And that's when then I get even more anxiety. You know what I mean? Because now I'm forcing myself, but no, I didn't I never sleep on a red eye.
I try to sleep in every mode of transportation now, unless I'm, behind the wheel.
Right, of course, and maybe
then I'm
a little
drunk.
bit.
but I actually try to go to sleep because I call it time machining.
Right.
Because it's amazing. You get on the plane, you fall asleep, and then, boom, hey, I'm there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems like no time went by. Do the same thing going to Atlantic City when you get a driver or something like that. Fall asleep.
I do good in the car, man. Sleep, anything
Really?
rocking slightly, I'm out cold. The plane, for some reason, just, nah.
When I fall asleep in a car, I start thinking, wait, the driver's asleep too. And all of a sudden I just wake up.
Yeah.
I hate that feeling. I would love to be able to sleep like Anthony does. But Rock of Love, a third season.
Right.
And last night was amazing. Taya, we've had Taya on the show, the Penthouse Pet of the Year.
She's beautiful.
With the VAD shot. Can we say VAD shot?
Yeah, I believe we can.
Yeah.
We used to do all that, everything you're doing on your show, we used to do on our radio show.
Absolutely.
And for some reason, you're not allowed to do that stuff on radio anymore, but it's a trend in TV where it's, do whatever you want.
Here's what's amazing, and I said this about the show. It's unbelievable that they cut me loose to do exactly what I want. Now I don't know if you all saw the very first episode where I walked in, we got done with the show. Mm-hmm. I walk in and it was open to the public bar. Like we really there was no setting it up or staging it. We went in, and I think, if you talk to any of the girls, Taya or any of the girls, you'll find out that, we walked in and there was 3 or 4 different kinds of women, right? And these 2 girls were up in the bar and slipping the old test tube up the Yahoo. Mm-hmm. And the next thing you know, I walked in, I'm like, it was the first, I go, how's everyone doing? I'm like, hi-yo. It was right there. I mean, there was nothing I could say. I'm like, and I'm looking around and I'm like, this is surreal because it's public.
Yeah.
They're going nuts.
Yeah.
And it was a good rock show.
She's a
Good-
very sexy girl, too.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
We had her naked and we spanked her a little bit. She's a lovely, lovely lady.
Yeah, she did a lot of fine stuff for us.
You got further than I did then.
Oh, really? Yeah, fantastic.
Well, the third season, you're taking all the girls on the road with you.
Yes.
You're insane.
This was probably the, as I said before, it's one of the most genius and stupidest things I've ever done combined into one ball. You know what I mean? Because when you're out on the road, it's tough enough to begin with, and then when you throw all of them in there, and the disaster started with the luggage. You know what I mean? It started with suitcases. They actually had those huge, what looks like Tupperware to me, but people store stuff in it.
Yeah.
They're larger Tupperware-ish items with like duct tape and belts around it. I go, I don't know where you're going to actually, where you're actually going to put that on the bus, but good luck. And then the shoes / underwear / fighting, cat fighting began. And I told you this before. I wish they were always fighting over me. Unfortunately, most of the time it has nothing to do with me.
Right.
And I actually asked them this year to pretend that when they're fighting, you throw my name into the actual fight occasionally.
You're being honest, at least.
I'm like, girls, just say my name.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Blah, 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 blah. Tampons, Brett. Tampons, Brett.
At this point,
In fact, they did say that. That's
yeah.
exactly.
At this point, they're all fighting just for TV time and all that. It used to
Whatever.
be to get your attention.
I used to think,
Yeah.
you would have thunk it.
Yeah. But you're trying to do actual shows, and you have to deal with all the drama that's going on with these girls, right?
Right. It's I become a combination of many things. I would like to think we date, which is good on a dating show. There's policing, mostly policing, psychiatry. A lot of psychological, deep wounded issues that I like to rehash and bring up, so the girls feel them, and then I come in as the savior. You know what I mean? I just throw enough out there to get them to bring up those bad wounds they've kept deep down in their soul.
What's better than rescuer sex?
Yes.
What's better than that when she sees you as someone who's helped her and then she just gives it up? That's the best.
That's how I do it. That's how I lure them in.
You look down, you see that like stare and like the tear just coming down the side of the face.
Later,
Like,
you're
oh.
just
And then-
more baggage for the next poor sap.
Oh, of course you are. And she has to take medication now.
Speaking of medication, in the first episode, our lovely lady tribe, Nikki, who I thought was great, who I unfortunately let go, but her tackle box of pills that I found, I couldn't stay up with the amount of drugs she had in her. I'm like, listen, pick what? Something that brings you up, an amphetamine, a downer, some Oxycontin. I don't know. Find something. But I was laughing so hard. She goes, we were up there, and she would say something to me, and I, halfway through the sentence, I would lose it. And I'm like, man, just pick one. I'm good with one drug. You know what I mean? If you pick one drug and you stay with it, but combine that with the alcohol was good times.
A little much.
Good
A little
time.
much.
Good times.
Good times.
And you're not actually going to have a relationship with any of these girls in the end. That's
Long,
obvious.
loving relation. That's where you're wrong.
You just want-
long, caring, loving.
You're just hoping for a fourth season.
I'm just. Yes.
I mean, you're up to 3. That's amazing. Please tell me.
Don't you want me on no semi way up?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Please tell me you didn't do anything with rodeo. I actually asked this just before you went live, and I got a look from your guy in the corner there. You did not go there. Rodeo's one of the broads, and she's just a beast.
She's not.
She's a beast.
She's not a beast.
You were with Pam Anderson, my friend.
She was-
back whenever.
Yes.
You're not. You can't even look at me when you're doing rodeo.
I may have spent a little time.
She's rough, man.
Hey, to each their own. I thought she was beautiful.
Out of all the girls you got, rodeo.
To each their own.
Oh, please. Yeah, I'm all for it.
No, they're.
It's perfectly acceptable if she's any time up until she's dead more than an hour. Then you're a creep.
I was just going to say, it's an hour. There's a leeway period.
Yeah.
I guess everybody has, their own taste. I mean, what does she look like? Is there a picture up there?
Compared to the rest of them,
you can
right there.
pop up?
Isn't her real name Cindy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Cindy, right there. This one.
Right. And why is she called Rodeo?
The cowboy hat on.
Oh, she.
Oh, okay.
That sums it all up.
Yes.
I think she's like 45 years old.
I'm going to say, yeah,
She's up there.
she was great. Though. She was, and she comes out, she's.
Oh my God.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
You had sex with rodeo.
Great. She's grateful. That's what it is.
Yeah.
She's great. She's grateful.
I don't know. Not maybe after I was done. She may have wished when I was done, she wished she could have got her money back. But right up till then.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
It's just
we had a
hot
good
girl after hot girl after hot girl, and come on. Show the guys a picture of rodeo.
Come on. No, it's all good. Are you popping it up on the screen?
Well,
Yeah.
She's not bad.
that's not bad in a 3 by 2 inch picture from 20 feet away.
That's been like,
She's
and
got
the picture's been cleaned up a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Show
Take care of herself.
I have to. She's a bodybuilder.
Go back.
Bodybuilder, yeah.
She is when you see her close.
Here, go this one, Danny.
Go large.
No, this one. There you go. This is who Brett Michaels had sex with.
What is that teary? She's crying in that.
She cried all the time.
That's her right after it.
That was after
But he
we
said,
did
"Now
it.
get out."
She had a big vein on her head. She looked very sad in that photo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, look
Listen,
at that.
there was
Her aorta's in her forehead.
Yeah.
That was an emotional moment. Come
Yeah.
on, she was
Yeah.
having an emotional breakdown there. However, going to this season,
the third
on the
season.
Rock of Love, looking for true love. But I walk on the show. I'm honest with the girls. I say, look, it's a dating show. We're here to have fun, and we do. And it's this year will bar none is a good time.
You're in a tailspin and you're trying to get out of it.
I know. You're killing me over here. And I'm slow, and you know I'm slow. You
Yeah.
know the
We got
fight's
the upper
over,
hand today.
And now you just hit me in the body on the way
You
down.
haven't slept. We're well rested.
Yeah, this is seconds after. Welcome to John F. Kennedy Airport in New York.
Yeah. I'll go see my pals Opie and Anthony. Did you have sex with rodeo?
Because I know they've been nothing but nice to me, so I'm just going to
Yeah.
Last time you had me interviewing 4 hours of 70s porn.
That was
I had
fun,
to watch
wasn't
Big
it?
John Strip, which I've mentally never got over.
Yeah,
and
I don't
I'm
think
scarred for life.
We try to make sure you guys remember us. That's all.
We always do.
Hey, also, you had Megan on your show.
Yes.
Megan started on Beauty and the Geek, then went to Rock of Love, and then went to Charm School. And she was in the news recently because she went after Sharon Osbourne, and Sharon, gave her a beating.
It was insane. I don't think if you wanted to, you could fake that beating that happened. And last time
A big boo to VH1 because that's what she looks like naked?
who are you looking at now?
Megan.
Lovely.
Holy crap.
Wait, can I see it? Hold on a minute.
Oh, wait, can I see? Take a little look over there. And,
She's chesty.
wow.
Yeah, Megan is, she's a
busty gal.
She sure is.
Can I say something about? Can I throw back to my days? Can I hark back to my first Playboy '70s breasts? The breasts are remember in the '70s things they went out and up like they.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I mean. The shape of them went out but up a little, like they were real and she has that very '70s-esque.
Yeah.
Playboyish.
The bottom had a lot of weight to it.
Yes.
And then the nip was positioned above.
It rode higher.
The equator.
Yes.
Of the breast
Of the
area.
breastal area, yes.
They looked hopeful.
They were looking up. And
Always
she looked,
looking up.
always
They had a nice weight to them without
Yeah,
the
they-
sag. It was all about weight without
nothing
the
like
sag.
depressed breasts that are all down, just going.
Ho hum, ho hum.
It looked like two oranges in a tube sock.
But Megan was on Rock of Love and then
Yes.
moved on to Charm School. And what did she? They did the reunion, and she was like hammered, and she was on pills or alcohol or something was going on.
Yeah.
And she went after Sharon Osbourne. What'd she say? She made fun of being married to a brain dead rocker or something like that.
She went after the legend that is Ozzy, and Sharon. Again with Megan, I know the thing is with Megan, she's pretty. She says what's on her mind. I'm not sure sometimes it's always at the right moment. And she apparently said something to Sharon, and from all I know was the same thing everyone else saw. I wasn't at it, so it was. But Sharon, man, she lost it.
Supposedly, the fight was amazing, but
Was it a physical
VH1,
fight or an argument?
yes, and VH1, they edited the crap out of it. They gave you maybe 2 seconds because now I think there's going to be some kind of lawsuit. Basically, this Megan girl made fun of Ozzy to Sharon. Sharon got up like, I need a minute. goes behind like the couch she was sitting on,
And then lost it.
and then some kind of red drink just threw it all over her, and then just beat the crap out of her, supposedly. And then Megan walked away crying her eyes out with some of her hair extensions ripped out.
It was crazy. And that's what happened.
But what they showed on TV sucked compared to the, leading up to this. I read about it on the internet. I'm like, wow, this is going to be some good TV. Of course it's not going to be good TV.
I think they're in for. I think that's going to go bad. You know what I mean? And last year I had it. You think when you're doing that stuff, sometimes with me, I kind of step back and you're looking at. But last year, man, I had Heather and Daisy up there, and they left a lot of that in there. They just started. Massively smacking. Just a knockdown, drag out fight, and I think it was just a lot of tension built up. And then they just get to that reunion, a few drinks, and it's crazy. But I hate to say this, that, you're watching TV. It's part of what makes it that reality TV is part of what makes it that real, and that you just don't know what's going to happen. And sometimes it's just real laid back. Other times it's just.
And your show's not as scripted as a lot of these other reality shows have become. Thank God. Because we talk about it all the time. Like, you're watching a reality show, but it's obviously the show has been written. Right. Like the Hogan family was a perfect example. That thing. Those people have very boring lives, so they had a bunch of writers going, well, we'll make you do this, we'll make you do that. The Kardashians, the same thing.
Right.
It's just, what do we call it? It's like...
They call it
assisted reality. Right.
That's what they said if I was doing it for Family Jewels, and they had it. It's assisted reality. Could you...
Yeah.
You like it's assisted or scripted reality.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys got things you want to, do, and then what happens as you're doing these, things.
With ours, it's really simple. Here's the way it worked. The first year was probably the most, as it is in anything. I've never watched much dating reality, so I went in with a list. This is how brains put together storming our meeting was. They asked me if I wanted to do it. I said, look, I'm newly single. Here's the thing. I've never gone on and done this kind of a show. How's it work? They're like, well, you date. I'm like, well, do you walk in? I said, as I told you, my acting skills are limited. I said, so here's some thoughts. I want to do motocross racing. They're like, we don't do that kind of stuff on these. I'm like, well, can I have a challenge? Whoever wins goes on a date. And that's what I think became great, is I said, you can't fake a bunch of girls that don't know how to ride going on a challenge, and then let us just go to a date and have drinks and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, make sure there's lots of alcohol, motorcycles, fun, mud football. I mean, everyone's like, you can't do this. Everyone will, the people watching will turn it off because it's not dating. I said, well, maybe I think people see when a show is completely scripted.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden the one girl enters the room and magically they argue with the other. I think you have to, with this, I think with mine, they have to bury most of what actually, a lot of what happens, and I think the only thing that we have on ours that you have to know is when you're going to do something, the cameras have to know we're going to go up and get on the bus and go out to a truck stop Olympics. We got truck stop Olympics this season, baby bread ice hockey. We got all the classics to find true love.
Sure.
And mud football 3, which is great. But obviously, I know, and we all know there's cameras around, but what happens for us under the camera, you don't have to assist it. You just go and it unfolds, and either the girls, some of the stuff on there is really laid back. You're sitting there talking, hours go by, but that one moment when they've had too much to drink and stuff is normally what ends up on the TV.
Yeah, I got to give you a lot of credit, too, because you made everyone forget about Flavor of Love.
Yes.
This was the white version of Flavor of Love when it first started. I'm like,
absolutely.
And I'm looking, going, wow, Bret Michaels, what is he doing?
Right.
Freaking Flavor Flav, and that show was huge.
Yeah.
And for the most part, people have forgotten about it.
Yeah, well, thank you. I say this about that is, I had watched a few episodes of Flav, and I thought it was really funny.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
When we
especially
were
the first
season.
The
first year, and you guys had, and I was telling Pete this, that I said, you guys are big supporters or helping me break the show out. You know what I mean? Because no one knew what the hell was going to be. I didn't know. Yeah. It was supposed to be 6 episodes and out. It ended up just being, I think the reality of it not being such assisted reality is what made people go, wait a minute, this is a lot of fun. You can't fake what's happening. Like when you see this year, I'll tell you one thing, we do this rodeo challenge. Mm-hmm. Let me take that back. Roadie challenge. We do a roadie challenge, right? And man, a couple of the girls, including our dear Taya, takes a fall from that stage that is, you can't fake it. All the girls are doing this thing, and whether as you say, whether they're doing it for TV time, whether 1 or 2 of them actually like me, you know what I mean? To me, it doesn't matter. I'm having fun, and I get to be with a lot of hot girls. That doesn't suck. You know what I mean? In the end, regardless of what their reason is, they're forced to be with me. That's the only good thing about the show.
I love.
They're forced to like me.
I love the reunions, show, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, after all this, we have decided that
it didn't work
out, so I guess I'm going to have to do another one.
You know what happens? Let me just say this, as I've said many times. Let me just say, in my defense, that if my ratings tank, my true love will work out perfectly.
Wonderful, yeah.
If your ratings tanked, you're in love.
Yeah.
You know how in love you are.
It's great. It's great that you get to, plus you get to go from one to the other, too, because it's part of the show. So it's like, they can't C-block you even. It's like, look, I have to. I mean, I can't just talk to you.
And that is the best. See, that's the sickest and best genius part of the show is, listen, I was just on a date with you, and I know that we had great emotional feelings together. But I have to go on another date. I don't want to. Mm-hmm. I'm forced to do this.
You have the best job
That's
in America.
when the word producer, you see the producers? That's what you have to do. I have to go on this.
This show's about.
That's what this show's about.
You're literally in the bedroom wiping it off with a sock, texting off someone else.
Excuse me, I need 2 tube socks immediately, bro. Stat.
The show starts this year. He's meeting all the new girls and doing photo shoots, and they're all getting naked for him. I'm sitting there like, this guy has the best job in America.
Thank you.
And then you get to sample some of the wares, or at least be very close as they're doing other things.
Can we in here throw just a Rock of Love, our own Rock of Love party one morning? Or
oh my God!
Can you imagine us just gather all the girls up and just bring them in here and just have a party?
See, the problem is you already filmed everything for season 3.
No, it doesn't matter. We bring them in anyway from all the seasons.
I say
I'm going to bring Rodeo in because you are not going to be able to tell her up close because I'm not killing you. She'll kick your ass. She's tough.
I'm sure she would.
Well,
she's a disaster.
She'll start crying.
I would love to have. Let me answer Brett's question. You most certainly can throw a Rock of Love party.
I was just
yeah.
Well,
how about we hope for season 4, and you promise us right now if there's a season 4, you film something in studio.
We may have to do that.
We'll make them DJs for a day or something.
Let's do it.
All right.
It's done.
I can imagine Rodeo in like 1988, something like that. Spandex pants, the whole thing.
88. I'm living it right now.
But she was probably,
a looker.
She was hot. Listen, I like Rodeo. I'm going to go with her. She comes out to all the concerts just like me. She tucks her spandex into her cowboy boots just like I do. And we have a good time.
You can do so much better. Boo.
And by the way, I'm going to break some news. There's a possibility. Let me just throw this out there.
All right.
This is breaking news. This summer, something I've been pushing for a long time. I'm going to be out. I'm going to shamelessly promote for a minute. I'm going to be out going solo. I have the Rock, last time we were here. And I think one of the times I was here with the guys from Finger 11, right?
Yeah.
And they were here. They sounded amazing. And it was Paralyzer, right? Or something they were doing in the studio.
Yeah. Love that dumb
right?
song.
Yeah. And they were all in here. And I just happened to come in. I don't know if it was too early or too late. One of my normal screw-ups. But it was great. But anyway, I got to come back and do Bamboozle, and it was amazing. I had a great time. But anyway, long story short is I got the Rock My World, the solo record out, which has been doing incredible. And I want to thank the fans who have either bought it or voted for it on VH1 because all the singles have been top 20. And then this summer, I've been pushing for this for years and years because I was only going to go out solo. And this summer, there's a chance also, beside the Bret Michaels tour, that it'll be Poison and Def Leppard and possibly a Hinder or Finger 11 and some of us out there, and Poison, Def Leppard together.
Nice.
It's been brewing for years, even through us having words, all this stuff, and it would be an amazing. Both of us do big arena business, but to put us together in the same bill,
I would so see that.
it would be huge.
How's CeCe doing?
He's doing awesome.
Yeah.
Man. Doing much better. Him and Bobby fight it. I'm lucky because I get to party and I can walk away from it. Those guys party and it's, they fight that demon, unfortunately, So.
Yeah.
But they're doing okay right now. One isn't, and one is, but they'll be okay. You know what I mean?
One is and one isn't.
One's doing great, and one's not doing so great. But
so get them on the road.
So get them. The only thing that cures addiction is a tour bus,
Tour bus
and
full
free
of
drugs.
Free drugs, booze, and
Oh
bras.
my God.
You're feeling weak and vulnerable, so let's get you out on the road
Yeah.
every night with a lot of booze.
Yeah. You play better drunk.
You know,
Come on, man. What are you doing?
my dad said it just takes the edge off. That's all it does.
That's
Just loosens you up a little.
Just enough to take the edge. I always notice that if I ever made a graph of my drinking and what I do, like anything from when I was singing to shooting darts, just the graph would go up, and you're like, this is good, 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 and then a quick drop off after like one more drink. Then you're just like, yeah, that was too much. Yeah. You do better though.
Right.
A couple of drinks, you take the edge off. You're like, we're really doing well.
Let me tell you how well I did. I was nervous. I'm a sports fanatic, right? And I go, I am from Pittsburgh, so I'm a Steelers fan, right? And I go there and, to sing at Three River Stadium before they implode it. Right, this is their last day. They're going to implode it. I go to sing. It's 1 p.m, 19 degrees. And I'm going to sing the Star Spangled Banner, which no one instructed me. You ever wonder why people? This is a true story. You ready? You know why people on TV look like they're struggling horrifically with the Star Spangled Banner?
It's a hard song to sing.
Forget that it's
Everyone
hard.
says that, but
there's another problem. It's 19 degrees, and when you sing in the stadium, there's a full 1 second delay.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, say, and as you're starting to go through it, the thing comes back, but you're fighting. Do you ever watch? You're like, oh, and it looks like their heads looking around for what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, I went out there and started to warm up while all the guys are on the field. I'm like throwing the football, and I start to sing the song in front of everybody and realize this is a disaster. I've been practicing this for months, and I'm like, oh, I got it, and I realize I'm in trouble. My dad said, Brett, you look a little nervous, and about 3 or 4 shots later, I stumbled out into that field, and I nailed every single. Yes, I love you. Listen, I'm like, you're supposed to stand like 5 feet back from the mic, and I got right up on it, and I did a wonderful job, and that's the only time that I might. And then later on, the curve you're talking, the drop off. I later had the drop off. I was great, and then suddenly,
You're great, and then you suck.
And then I suck.
It goes with everything, even like bowling. If you're bowling and you get a few beers in you, you're like, God damn, I'm right in the pocket. I haven't been bowling in 3 years or anything, but a few beers, you're fine. Hey, let me have another beer, another one. And gutters, clunk, 1 pin.
And then there's an odd area of rubberiness after you start to suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't quite, you're disoriented. You're like, what happened to my greatness that was just going on?
I was just great.
Well, what did you say earlier? You go, man, whether I'm singing or playing darts.
Yeah, I mean, anything in between, run the gamut at the same time. Singing and playing darts and drinking.
We got to get Brett out of here. It's a short visit today.
Yes.
If you're going to be in New York for the next couple of days, you stop by and do a little more with us.
I would love it. Well, thank you guys for having me on, man, and for being a big part of the show for real. So
if there's a season 4, we're in.
Right.
And we'll give you one of our best bits. 55-gallon drum challenge with the hot broads.
Done. It's done.
You didn't even ask what it is.
Oh, I don't need to know. It just sounds good.
Honestly, it would be a home run for everybody.
Okay. It's a win-win. And I promise it won't be assisted.
It's one of our greatest. It's one of our greatest bits ever. There's video clips online.
Right. Oh, that's what I want to tell you. Did you guys see yet the video you all made for the song? It's Driven. Mm-hmm. You guys have the brand new one up here that you guys. It's amazing.
Yeah, we'll play Bret Michaels' Driven in just a minute.
That would be killer.
All right, Bret Michaels Rock of Love Bus. It's called this year. Sundays at 9 on VH1. BretMichaels.com. He spells Brett with 1 T. My brother spells it with 2, but you're a 1 T Brett.
I'm a 1 T Brett kind of guy.
All right, he's got a lot more media to do.
I need darts right now.
Says here you dated Pam Anderson.
Go.
Hello, is this on? Oh, say.
Go get some sleep. Red Eye.
Uncle Merman meets David Lee Roth.
Comes in here right after Red Eye. That's pretty cool. Bret Michaels, everyone. We'll continue in just a bit. Opie and Anthony. How's everybody this morning? Yeah, that's good. It is Monday. Golden Globes, that was some must-see TV, huh? Anyone?
I did not watch it, no. I was, I don't know, man. The award shows are just awful.
Yeah, I have a very hard time watching award shows. If something happens that's a little bizarre, they'll have a clip of it on YouTube. So
Good point, good point.
Why should I sit through the drivel and self-congratulatory crap that make up those award shows?
Well, best drama. Just run through this really fast.
House.
No, movies. Movie.
Best drama.
Everyone's talking about this movie. It was the movie I wanted to see yesterday instead of this Revolutionary Road, which just was a disaster on
the
many
Clint
levels.
Eastwood movie?
I want to see that as well. Yeah. But we're talking about Slumdog Millionaire.
Who's in that?
It's an artsy picture. I don't know. It's one of those
artsy face.
You got to go to the smoked salmon theater to see it.
What's it about? You know,
some dude, like
it's about some dude,
some poor dude becomes a millionaire. I guess Slumdog Millionaire on a game show, right? Stump Brain.
Yeah, he wins. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in India?
Yeah,
and it takes you through the whole process. But there's a love story in there, and it is a very good movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's entertaining.
And
you saw
it?
Well done. Yep,
you liked it.
I loved it.
Was it your favorite movie of the year?
It's right up there with Wall-E.
Well, Wall-E won Best Animated Film.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it the only animated film?
No, you had Ratatouille and the...
Ratatouille came out years ago.
No, you had a couple of dog movies.
I saw Ratatouille at least 6 months ago, and I was late to the party. That movie's got to be from last year.
There were several. There were a bunch of other animated pictures. But
name one.
Only Wall-E.
Wall-E wasn't as good as everyone thinks it was.
Hey, I Am Legend, was he nominated for that? Was that last year?
I Am Legend? No.
I think that was last year.
That might be last year as well.
I remember seeing that like Christmas or something around there.
Best Actor. Yes, they gave it to Mickey Rourke for The Wrestler, saying this is his big comeback. I completely disagree.
I don't know.
Although they're saying he might play the villain in what? Iron Man
2.
His face is just a mess. How are you going to see this guy in movie after movie now?
But he's got that thing where, he could play these parts with no makeup.
Well, I guess.
So he can go in.
I guess.
And he's got name recognition.
Right.
And now he's got a movie behind him. And he can just go in there now and play these parts.
It's amazing. He's the same guy from Pope of Greenwich Village.
He looks nothing like
you
that
put a
guy.
split screen together, just like, wow, what this guy has done to his face. And he basically admitted that he was on steroids for the movie.
Yeah.
What did he say there, Stump Brain? He said, a lot of people wonder if he did steroids, and he goes, well, if I'm going to play a wrestler, I'm going to act like a wrestler.
Yeah, Men's
So
Journal interviewed him.
He didn't officially admit it, but that's close enough for me.
Why is that a bad thing, especially in that
I don't care. I'm just throwing info out
No,
there.
I mean, like some people would be like, steroids. Like, if you're doing a sporting thing, I could almost see it because, it's supposed to be competition between people that are of, just naturally athletic, and it gives you that edge you're not supposed to have and whatever. But if you're acting and need to bulk up for a role, what the hell's... It's not illegal as far as I know, is it? Are steroids illegal?
No.
You do what you got to do.
They're against the rules in sports and stuff, but
they said Heath Ledger, there's rumors that he was...
juicing?
Well, not juicing, but he was, getting into the role.
Gay?
Heath Ledger was getting into the role. He was possibly, I've read on sites, possibly partaking in some of the extracurricular.
Like what, drugs?
Yeah.
Well, drugs...
That's one of the rumors that is floating around.
Beautiful girls?
And then, like,
club.
and then he was in a little too deep after he filmed, and that could have led to his death there. That's one of the theories out there.
That's an actor with, I think, a confidence problem.
Well, he won Best Supporting Actor. Of course he did. He's going to win the Oscar.
I would like to see him win it, too. So normally, I'd be like, it's a stupid comic book villain, but I loved him in that so much, I would love to see him win the Oscar.
You know what they should do? His family should just make the most horrific thing ever. He wins the Oscar, and then they go to the grave and dig up his body.
Jesus Christ.
And put the Oscar in his hand.
Oh, wow.
And you invite the media.
All right, that is horrifically fantastic.
Can you imagine?
Oh, would that be great?
Because Hollywood eats up all that crap, so, the followers should go, all right, you know what, Heath, we think Heath should have the actual Oscar.
Heath would want it this way.
He would want it this way. It's just a horrific, they're digging up the grave.
Big backhoe is just just standing around
Here in Hollywood today,
with the
they
Oscar.
gave Heath Ledger his Oscar.
I don't even think should they pop the lid?
Oh, yeah, the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
Not only pop the lid, but then just stand up and throw it down into him. You hear a clang as it hits at the bottom of the coffin, and then you close it.
Why isn't it?
Oh, God,
Why
is
don't-
that horrible?
Why don't you ever hear that type of thing? You know, Heath would have wanted it this way.
Yeah, he would have wanted it that way.
He
Really?
Would, he would want the Oscar in his hand for eternity, so we're going to make that dream come true. Get Access Hollywood and E.T. and the rest of them out there for that horrific scene. Here's Mickey Rourke accepting his Best Actor last night. Best Actor award. Golden Globe, whatever.
Like to thank also somebody who broke his balls a lot. He was the producer, Scott Franklin, and I'd like to thank all my dogs, the ones that are here and the ones that aren't here anymore, because sometimes when a man's alone, that's all you got is your dog, and they meant the world to me. And
I had to thank all my dogs and Skippy.
And oven mitts.
Who hasn't seen The Wrestler yet? Great film. You seen it, Jimmy?
Yeah.
And you saw it, right?
Yeah, poor Stuntbrain hasn't seen it because I lost my copy.
Oh, boy.
It's either Keith took it
Yeah.
or Angela put it away when she was cleaning up, and I have no idea where it is.
Well, Stumpbrain wants to watch The Wrestler.
I know, I'm sorry.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good.
Very much.
Yeah, it was definitely very good.
It was a little slower moving, but it was still good. It was still very good.
Is Jesse on line one right about this?
I think steroids in general are... I don't know if they're illegal, Jesse. What do you got on this?
What's up there, Jesse? Inform us.
Morning, boys. Hey, Ant, you're a genius, dude. Usually I'm on your side, but come on. Steroids is a controlled substance. It's not legal. You can't go out and buy it.
Is it?
Hold on.
Absolutely.
Can you get a prescription for it?
Yeah, from a doctor.
All right.
Is it ill?
It's not illegal to have then. It's not like cocaine.
It's
Illegal to distribute
Hold on.
without a prescription.
Is it illegal though? It's illegal.
Absolutely.
It's illegal if you're in the NFL. Is it illegal if you're, an actor?
I'm almost 100% positive because they had a big thing on ESPN where people were going into Mexico to purchase them and bring them back across the border.
Yeah, I
because
know.
they are
Sylvester
illegal.
Stallone got in trouble for that too. But can't you get a doctor to write you a prescription for it and then use them?
But you could also get a doctor to write you a prescription for medical marijuana, and that's still illegal.
Well, that's
certain places.
not when you have a prescription for it.
It doesn't make it legal, though.
If
Yes,
you can
it
write
does.
a prescription for it, it's legal.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. If you have a prescription for it and you're smoking it, it's legal, right?
I guess you got a point there, but it's still a controlled substance.
So is alcohol legal?
Oh my God! So is every drug that you get by prescription is a controlled substance.
I guess you have a point there, but...
Yeah, I have a
don't know.
lot of
I would-
points. You got one on top of your head.
Hey, don't be fresh. You're breaking your balls right away, you get fresh.
All right, you redeemed yourself.
We got it. Yes, it is illegal to use steroids without a valid prescription or to distribute them. Steroids are blah, blah, blah. All right. So, I mean, if you got a prescription, you're allowed to take the steroids.
Here you go.
So maybe Mickey Rourke, well, no, he would have. Mickey Rourke was probably using it illegally if he was on the road.
I'm not going to allege that.
I'm just saying. I don't know either. But he hinted that, if you're going to play a wrestler, act like a wrestler. That's how he answered the steroid question.
They do.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hang up on you there, actually. We're moving on.
I did.
More Golden Globes. Original song, The Wrestler by Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, God.
Rolling Somewhere is You-Know-Whatting himself.
Oh.
And then television. Best Drama, a show that none of us have seen. This is Ronnie B's show, this Mad Men. I hear it's a great show. It won the Golden Globe yesterday, and a lot of us have not seen this show. They say it's amazing, though.
Is that the one Gaffigan's
What is
in
it
or no?
about?
I don't even know. It's like advertising guys in
Ad
the 50s.
men in the 60s.
In the 60s?
Yeah, and they're all smoking and drinking,
Right.
and there's IBM typewriters instead of computers.
The one thing about Revolutionary Road, and maybe this is something we could look up. There was more smoking in Revolutionary Road, this Kate Winslet, Leo DiCaprio movie that just was so depressing. They were lighting up every other minute in this movie. And she's pregnant, and she's drinking martinis and smoking. I'm like, that's old school. They didn't know that crap would hurt you. But it was so weird when they announced that she was pregnant in the movie. Not giving much away, trust me. There she is, still lighting up and drinking the martinis.
Till she loses the baby, right?
Well, yeah, that part you just gave away.
I have no idea. I didn't see the movie. I'm just saying, if it's depressing, that probably happens.
And then she might have died because, she gave herself her own abortion. I don't know, though. That's what people are saying. And then 30 Rock won everything.
Yeah.
Best comedy, best actor, best actress. Tina Fey won, Alec Baldwin won, and the show itself won.
Ran away with it then.
I'm a big fan of the 30 Rock. I don't know if it does well in the ratings, though. Why not? Another show that's really good that'll go away because it's just not getting the numbers.
Won't go away, though. No way. Too critically acclaimed. They won't go anywhere.
They do it all the time, it seems. Here's Tracy Morgan last night. One of our pals.
Thank you. Tina Fey and I had an agreement that if Barack Obama won, I would speak for the show from now on. Welcome to post-racial America. I'm the face of post-racial America. Deal with it, Kate Blanchett. We like to thank the Hollywood Foreign Press, especially me, because a black man can't get no love at the Emmys. I love you, Europe. That's what's up.
he just gets to do whatever the hell he wants.
He will say stuff that I just go, I have no idea what Tracy's saying.
All right.
I have no clue what he's even talking about.
But no one attempts to stop him.
No.
That's the beauty of Tracy Morgan.
We love our crew. We love Lorne Mikes. My girl Marcy Klein. My boy Robert Carlock, a.k.a. Coca-Cola. My man Petey Cam with the golden handheld. I'd like to thank the people over at, the lady over at Craft Services, because she make the tacos. She know how to make them just right. Jeff Zucker, my boy. Holla at me, JC.
I think he's the president of NBC.
And we love you. Thank you very much.
After Craft Services, he goes Jeff Zucker.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Of his mind.
I guess we got to correct something we said earlier. Eastwood and Gran Torino, I was bitching that he didn't use the N-word. He didn't go all in with his racism.
Yeah.
And a few people that have seen the movie said it was perfect. The reasons he didn't use the N-word was because there was only one short scene with black people that lasted maybe 3 minutes. I would assume he used spook and spade because those terms were more used back then. The movie was good and it didn't hold back. So,
okay.
I was thinking it was Hollywood being, a little douchey.
You were right, Ope. That's why there was only one scene with black people.
You think?
Of course. That's why. Because if a guy's a true racist, the N-bomb has always been relevant. You're right. Spade and all those were more common.
So they were able to figure out a way around it where the average moviegoer thinks, okay, this is all right.
We don't want to look like the pseudo-edgy pussies that we really are, so we'll just have one little scene. It's like if you're going to show a guy who's a racist, just show him as he is.
Right.
And that's why they probably only had one little scene. Because black and white is the racial problem in our country.
Of course.
It's not Vietnamese it's black and white.
Yeah, that's the big one. That's the big get. That's top of the charts. Miles in Jamaica writes, but if you really pay attention, he isn't the type of guy to call people the N-word. He was old school, so he called black people colored.
All right.
And whatnot. Did he use the term colored at least?
Probably then.
Yeah.
So was he a hateful racist or more like just Archie Bunker, but a little more?
I don't know. I can't wait to see the movie.
He had guns.
It was sold out, man. So I was stuck with this movie, Revolutionary Road. Yeah, Kate Winslet's a great actress. Who cares? Who needs to be that depressed? Just walking around, it's depressing these days with what's going on out there in the real world. You want to go to the movies to escape.
I don't. I like a good depressing one.
Well, then go see Revolutionary Road, my friend. And give me a little review in the next day or two.
Cuckoo's Nest is one of the most depressing movies ever.
I love that movie.
But it's like every time I watch it, I react like, just leave when the window's open.
I know.
Get out.
Oh,
it never changes, though, the ending.
The anxiety you feel that it's right there for him.
Billy is in the next room.
Yep.
He's been dragged into Dr. Spivvy's office.
Good old Dr. Spivvy.
And there's a scream from the nurse. They all run away. They leave him and Dumb Chief by that window, and they just don't go. And it bothers me every time.
That feeling of anxiety you get when that scene is happening.
It's like, just go.
Just effing
get out, Randall.
And he never does.
He doesn't, and he still chokes her. And the best part is Christopher Lloyd rooting him on to choke Nurse Ratched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot it.
With his face, he's just like, you could see him going, please kill this bitch.
There is a great Psycho in Revolutionary Road, though. That was awesome. Awesome. What's her name? Kathy Bates' son. Is
Master?
Yes, of course. Yeah,
I'm 40. 40.
Yeah. He gets 48-hour passes, but he sees everything that's going on in front of him with this lovely couple that live on Revolutionary Road.
Okay.
I went and saw a live production. I went and saw...
Could you tease it for after the break?
Okay.
Because I don't want to rush through this, because I don't know why you would do that. I'm starting to think you might really, really like somebody, because...
I think he's gay.
What?
See, he's doing a little recreation.
This is what you saw. An hour and a half of this, right?
Oh, God. Oh.
If you haven't figured it out, Jimmy will tell you next.
The last thing you should hear should be a gunshot, self-inflicted. That should be the last. Oh.
Why aren't they talking?
Because it's not called talk.
It's cool for those things are cool for maybe like 5 minutes. That's the problem with those things. We'll
like
get into this.
Light show.
I'll stay with this when I come back. I made a mistake.
Obvious,
I thought it was Heather Mills' life story. I just misread the sign.
We'll get into that discussion after the break. But first, it's the FU line.
Thanks for calling the Opie and Anthony FU line. Here's the latest batch of FUs.
You have 6 new voice messages. First voice message.
Yeah, this is Nick from Jersey. I want to give a big you to that redheaded that gave me your number and made out with me when the ball dropped and never responded. What the you thinking, you dumb bitch? I'm a great catch. You.
Next message.
Yeah, I want to send a big FU out to George Bush. About time we get you out of the office. You've been nothing but a waste of space to this country and a drain on the economy. So, you, George Bush.
Next message.
Hey, I'd like to give a big you to the guys I work for. They me out of my holiday pay by not clearly stating what the rules were to be able to get it. Thanks a lot, guys, and you.
Next message.
I'd like to send a big FU out to Stacy. I can't stand you. It's just too bad that we had a kid together.
Next message.
Hey, this is Rob from Phoenix. I want to give a big FU to all the people who hit their brakes when they come up to the radar cameras on the freeways out here in Phoenix. You're not even doing the speed limit already. Don't hit your brakes, you moron.
Next message.
This is my you for you, Kristen. Put me in jail after 3 years of our relationship. You.
End of new messages.
Call the Opie and Anthony FU line. 866-FU-Line-1. That's 866-FU-Line-1.
Thank you and goodbye.
It's the Opie and Anthony Show. Stephen S. from Bay Show, really fast. Speaking of things that stink, how is Kosher David able to make his way home on Friday all coated with Liquid A? We have an update on that in a little bit. But first, Jimmy's got a big weekend. It's this weekend already?
Dude, I know, it's amazing because the holidays made everything just kind of triple in speed. The shows are sold out to Bogota, except I think Sunday there's tickets for the night before Martin Luther King's birthday. Ooh. And then the Wednesday after that, I'm in Miami, Florida, doing the festival down there one night.
Beautiful.
And here's a little treat for the fans.
Fan treat.
I will be going down to Atlantic City Friday and Saturday. Join my good friend Jim Norton.
Good.
And catch the shows.
You won't even see him.
Why?
You'll be at the blackjack table for 20 straight hours.
No,
you go down there with good intentions, but
I'm going to.
You're actually going to see the show.
and gambling is the secondary thing. It is. I want to hang out. I want to see Jimmy. I want to hang out. It's Atlantic City.
I don't waste your time. It's the same garbage you've seen. Not for Sunday, though. Friday and Saturday. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Sunday's
Sunday changes it all
I
out.
break out the new stuff.
Yeah, Sunday's the one you want to see. That's where he tries. And what did you go see this weekend there, Jimmy?
It was
a retard.
We went and saw Stomp.
Oh.
And
you saw Patty Cake.
Basically,
you saw like a involved version of Patty Cake.
it was all like
Stomping.
just like things, and then you're like, oh yeah, I forgot things make noise.
Yeah.
It was like an hour and 45 minutes of listening to a woman talk.
Oof.
It was just noise.
When was Stomp popular? Like 10 years ago, easily?
Yeah, I think
This
so.
thing has got to be off Broadway at this point.
Well, the same place it's always been.
It's still at the same place.
1938. Well, some people got it.
It was it's at the Orpheum Theater on 2nd Avenue, and I got to be honest, I actually liked it. Like, I'm teasing it, but I didn't think I'd like it this much.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go see something. I wanted to just do it because I was like, I haven't gone to a show in a long time.
What was your favorite part when they were using the garbage pail lids?
That was probably the best one. It was like the next to the last one was probably the best one. But it was really interesting. I mean, look, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a percussionist, you'd probably like a lot of what they did because there was a lot of obviously percussions.
A lot of percussion.
But I enjoyed it, man. I didn't want to like it as much as I did. But I really had fun.
Isn't there a lot of dancing too? It's dancing and stomping. And
there's some dancing, but it's
noise.
A lot of it is more just kind of in tune with what they're doing. It's not like a typical musical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the chicks that are in it are not they're not prancing around cute. You know what I mean? They're kind of dressed like emo fruits, except they have baggy pants on.
Yeah.
I like to stomp in American History X.
That was a good one. That was a damn good one. Hey, did you get my Heather Mills joke before?
Yeah, we got it.
See,
Did you get it, folks?
Makes sense.
Because it was Stump, so I thought it was going to be.
You ever see Blue Man Group?
I did not, no. Is it good or does it suck?
I hated Blue Man Group.
They take the PVC tube and make a big trombone out of it, pretty much.
I didn't get it.
And they're all painted blue.
I like Circus Soleil crap.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
They have some cool shows out there in Vegas as far as that goes. Stomp started in 1994, and they're still stomping away.
Stomping.
14, 15 years later.
Well, Broadway's tanking. A lot of shows closing.
Mm-hmm.
Spamalot, Dunsky.
Mm-hmm.
People can't afford it, I guess, right?
A couple other ones. Yeah, the economy is really kind of...
I don't want to hear about that. Every time you go to Times Square, it's just packed with people going in and out of those shows. So what are they
talking about? Is it people
about?
going in and out of the shows, or is it people going into TGI Fridays to catch a bit of a New York culture from the Midwest?
Yeah, no
They go to
kidding.
Fridays.
I love the people that hang out in Times Square going, we're in New York. Hang in with New Yorkers. No, you're hanging out with other dummies that came to town.
Tourists.
You're just hanging with the rest of the tourists. If you want to come to New York, go really see New York. Go downtown. Go to Central Park, I guess. Yeah. There's a million places you go where you really feel like you're in New York. Times Square is not the place.
The odd thing is, if you just walk one block off of Times Square on any of those side streets, you get like bars, Irish pubs, things like that aren't all full of tourists.
Right.
But if you stay on Broadway and 7th, that's all you get.
Right.
Is all this touristy crap.
You might as well have stayed home because you're hanging out with the same people you would see at, back home.
Rubes.
And what did you do this weekend?
This weekend.
We've shared so far.
Let's see. I went to the local gin mill. Then just hung out at home. I watched movies.
Mm-hmm.
I keep falling asleep to Schindler's List. I put that in.
Too slow for you?
No, I put that in before I go to sleep.
Well, that's
it's like
wonderful.
nice and relaxing.
That's wonderful.
It's calming.
Yeah.
I made it up to I'm essential to the effort. The other day, that poor one-armed bastard. No, I have the papers. Look, I'm essential. And they just pull him away and shoot him in the head.
Because he wasn't essential. He was like a one-armed guy. and they had them shoveling snow, and it was like, that's a tough one to sell.
Yeah, exactly. Schindler, wanted to help the guy out, obviously.
Good man.
And, although Schindler's intentions at first was not really to be a good man. It was pretty much profiteering on the war. Then, we kind of saw what was happening, but I'm talking about an ancient movie here. Yeah.
The most chilling scene in Schindler's List, or one of them, is when the higher Nazi shows up, and he has the one guy piece something together. He goes, piece that together. So the guy puts together the thing he does, puts the pieces in, and he's done in like 10 seconds. And he goes, now you can do it that fast? And he goes, yes. And he goes, well, how come you only have that many done?
Yeah.
And there's like a small pile of them. So he's like, takes him outside just to shoot him in the head. Yeah. And his gun won't fire twice. And then the guy, he hits him with the gun and the guy lives.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, there's so many just chilling scenes in that movie. But yeah, I got it on, DVD.
You got it in the rotation.
So it's in the rotation, yeah.
What else?
And I saw Raging Bull.
That's
and I
one of
couldn't
the best
stop
movies ever made, my
Jimmy.
friend.
I just wanted to text Jimmy like he was sitting there watching it with me.
Yeah.
We were laughing, just doing, lines back and forth and stuff. What a great movie that was. Not even good, or a great movie.
Not good enough to win the Oscar, my friend.
And that's just a travesty because it looked amazing. The first thing I texted you was about De Niro and
watching Raging Bull. How is that the same actor that does so much crap work now? And then a minute later, Frank Vincent is great, too. But you're right. What is he
Frank
doing
Vincent
now?
was fantastic in it. But you watch De Niro now doing, like, Meet the Fockers or even that's an older one. But the crap he just spit out with Al Pacino and just that garbage. And then you look at him in Raging Bull, and it's just done fantastically.
He was actually good at Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents was that was good.
I actually like that movie. I can't.
The sequel sucked.
Yeah.
But Meet the Parents was kind of funny. But even he was kind of that goofy. I don't want to see goofy De Niro. I'm sorry, I don't want to see De Niro.
Well, analyze this, analyze that.
Yeah. All right. Look. Yeah, we get it.
He's either doing predictable comedies or he's playing a cop.
Yeah.
Stop playing a cop. God almighty.
A rogue cop, Robert De Niro.
Guy's been around for too many years on the job.
Oh,
and he's got some crisis. Shut up. Pacino, too. They're just terrible. They're playing the same guy every movie.
Pesci in Raging Bull is fantastic. That awful wig he had on.
Was that a wig?
It had to be. He had like the tight little curl, almost like an afro thing going on.
Well, I didn't even know
it was the second worst wig he ever wore in a movie.
Oh, yeah, JFK was a wonderful one.
It was a fantastic one.
Let's say hi to Jared in Boston. Jared.
Jimmy.
What's up?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, how much snow did you get?
It depends. Where I live, away from the city, about 8 inches or so.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We were supposed to get a big storm down here. It was another, nothing event. But anyway.
Well, the worst was it all iced up first, and then there's snow on top of that, so it looks nice and fluffy, and then you go outside and fall on your ass. Anyway, so you guys have ruined movies completely. Last night, I'm watching Full Metal Jacket, and blanket party scene comes on, and I start giggling like an idiot, and my wife is sitting there looking at me. What is wrong with you? This is not funny. And I said, wait for it. And D'Onofrio goes, ow! And I lose it.
Ow! Ow! Why? Ow!
But you know what? Dude, you're not the only one that gets things ruined, because literally I was enjoying Stomp, and all I'm thinking is Anthony would hate this.
Yeah.
I was like, is there any part of this he would enjoy? And all I kept thinking of it is literally you going, all right, we get it. All right, we get it.
Right.
Enough with the stomping.
Shut up.
We get it. The stomping, the banging, it makes noise. We know.
Got a headache. Do you like it? No.
No. I don't.
Did Ricky Gervais really say this last night on the Golden Globes? He said, I quote, "That's the trouble with Holocaust films. There's no gag reel on the DVD." Did he really say that? Chris S. from Long Island, thanks for that little
like something
tidbit.
he'd say.
I don't know about that, but he had a very funny line.
Yeah.
At the opening, he was talking about having sex with 200 foreign correspondents, and he never got nominated for anything. There was more to it. But
I hope so.
Yeah, it was really
I'll go
funny.
look for the rest of it.
This is going great.
Be more funny.
That was terrible.
When you start with, he had a really funny line.
Yeah, it better be.
You better have perfect delivery after you say that.
You know what?
So people understand how funny it was.
Opie, we may not be giving him the proper credit.
Yeah.
That may have been a better... Is there a way... I don't know if anybody wants to do this, but could they bring that back so we could hear it again? Like, I think that we may have been giving Mike a hard time for nothing.
Maybe we just didn't appreciate it.
That's... Is we able to replay that? How do we replay that moment? Is it possible?
Yeah, it'll take a minute or two.
Okay.
We could stall a little bit here. Zeppelin's first album released 40 years ago today. Wow. Joe Frazier is 65 years old.
Smoking Joe. I ever tell you my mom's story, actually, with Smoking Joe Frazier? No, she never had sex with him.
Oh, boy.
Thank God. She'd have been disowned. She was working at some place called Sugars. It was in Northport.
Sugars.
Yeah. And Joe Frazier came in. He had a band that he sang with called Joe Frazier and the Knockouts. Can only imagine how good that was.
The Knockouts?
Yeah. I guess they did old...
Can we find Joe Frazier and the Knockouts?
Good luck.
Audio.
He was playing
There's
there.
got to be one out there somewhere.
And so my mom goes to get autograph for me and my brother. So she goes to the first one's for Anthony, and he's like, and she had to sit there and go N-T-H-O-N-Y, and she thought her difficulties were over when she goes, and one for my other son Joseph. He had no clue how to spell Joseph. His name's Joe Frazier. He couldn't spell Joseph.
It might even be Joseph Frazier.
I'm sure it's Joseph Frazier. I've never really heard Joe be...
He actually said, how do you spell Joseph?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
How do you spell Joseph? So, in summation, he's adult.
In your honest opinion, is it his blackness or is it because he's punch drunk?
I don't care if you're a genius. You get punched that many times in the head, you're going to get stupid. Yeah.
Philly people, let's be honest. Philadelphia people, not the brightest. That's why so many fighters come from Philly.
Yeah.
All they do is punch each other in the face. Listen, pay attention, stupid. Sonny Liston, Frazier, Meldrick Taylor. I mean, there was a lot of fighters coming out of Philadelphia.
A lot of great fighters coming out of Philly.
Larry Holmes, an honorary Philly idiot. He's from Easton.
Honorary.
Used to spar with Ali.
Yep.
For you fight fans.
Rocky Balboa.
He's the brightest of all the fighters in Philly.
Travis, New Hampshire, how are you?
What's up, boy? It's a little Yemi.
Hey.
How are ya? Hey, listen, about that other caller was talking about the movies that you guys ruined. Dude, also, I'm in the car with my wife, and she's like, I don't have my XM radio in here, so we're going to listen to some local radio. I'm like, great. Listen to some local talk radio, and the whole time I'm just like, ugh, God! And it just annoy me, thanks to your Jocktober.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Also, news clips on watching the nightly news when they do the stupid teasers.
Yeah, the tease.
Oh, it's just like, oh my God, they're so right. They're always just O&A is so right.
Of course we are.
Oh my
geniuses.
God, it just irritates the hell out of me.
Yeah. We like to think that we're the reason why TV's going away.
You guys have really opened our eyes, I think.
We ruin everything. That's what we do.
Travis. Let's go back to Chicago. Coke Logic, how are you, sir?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
God, I love that. Speaking of a movie you guys ruined, I cannot watch The Shining without laughing my ass off throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
Shining's got a lot of funny parts in it now that we've just gone over it and over it. Again and again. Yeah.
It's supposed to be horror and scary and startling, but no, it's just cook.
Cook. Your son.
It's still a scary,
it's terrifying.
Scary movie, man.
It's terrifying.
I don't know if we ruined that one for you yet. I saw that recently. I was like, wow.
It's still scary.
Wow.
Yeah, and, you take a movie like The Godfather, and this is supposed to be a tragic scene, and we just laugh our asses off.
It's the worst cough dub ever. I love you. And he's squirting pesticide on him.
Yeah, he's squirting it with DDT. Yeah. Stop you spilling it.
Rotten kid.
Horrible.
Grabs a tomato plant and falls over.
There's so many movies. I'll just hear a clip from the show and be like, hey, from the show.
Dave Cleveland, how are you, buddy?
Hey, what's up? Hey, talking about ruining things. Because of you, I'm hooked on fucking CSI Miami.
Ooh.
Yeah?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Why are you hooked on CSI Miami?
Because, you know, with the David Caruso stuff in the beginning, started watching it just for that opening line.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was over with.
Yeah.
I've had a channel on, and then like I'm watching those murder shows, real life murder shows, and then CSI will come on, and as I'm going through the channel guide, try to find something else, I'll see him do his dumb line. Well, Frank, looks like he's in trouble. Yeah, he's David Caruso is bad. It's really bad.
Let's say hi to Jason in Jersey. Jason.
Hey, good morning, boys.
Good morning, Jason.
I want to bring up the fact that the movie Twister is no longer watchable. You can't watch it without thinking of you guys anymore.
But Jason, that's not because of us. That movie is horribly bad. That one is bad.
You know, that movie did okay in the theaters.
It did great.
Everybody
it's a blockbuster.
Was crowing about the special effects and everything, and no one brought up the fact that the acting is so bad. The dialogue
over the
is
top,
so bad.
Mm-hmm.
The character is just unbelievable, extreme. Ugh.
Danny's making a list of other movies that are now funny because of this radio show. Silence of the Lambs, Shawshank.
That was the one.
This Boy's Life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I watched about half of the last half of Silence of the Lambs last night too.
Yeah.
And it's a funny goddamn movie now. Now it's just funny when she's screaming in that well and he's it's the funniest part of the movie. Danny.
Friday, driving out of the city was a mission, and I was coming up to a light, and I was going fast, but like I knew I was going to stop for the light halfway down the block, but my car was still kind of moving at a decent clip, and the engine was revving at a decent RPM, and this lady stops in the middle of the crosswalk like a deer in the headlights, just looks at my car and screams like at the top of her lungs, and that was like my first reaction. Like I just wanted to get out of the car and do the thing with the shirt and like pull my shirt forward,
like
and
you have breasts,
and just scream back at her. And I thought about what a psychopath that would look like if I actually did that.
Yeah. It's such a funny goddamn part of the movie, and it's supposed to be. I mean, the first time you see that, it's horrifying how sick this guy is, and now you just And when he does the tuck, when he's dancing. And putting his little makeup on and everything, and he's dancing, and then he goes to do the tuck, and he almost looks from side to side like, is anyone watching? Like he's making a woman's suit, but the tuck is the thing that he looks around like, better make sure no one's peering in at me.
And he pushes it, I'm crying over you, and he pushes it. He's just pushing the disgusting penis out of you.
Oh,
no one should see it.
He's so angry with it.
Of course he is.
Yuck.
Of course he is. It doesn't belong there.
Yuck. Let's go to Jason in New York. Jason.
Hey, what's going on, boys?
What's up, Jason?
What's up? You guys totally ruined Batman for me with Christian Bale's stupid voice.
Oh, he stinks.
Oh, he's the worst.
Yeah, it's on demand. I put it on, and man, someone just should make a Heath Ledger version of that movie.
Absolutely.
Just every one of his scenes.
Hey, is there any additional scenes of his in the director's in the DVD? Because I have the DVD.
I'm sure they got some extra stuff. Jaws, Elephant Man, Mask, Back to the Future, all movies that we have.
The Elephant Man.
Because of this radio show. We do have to take a break. After the break, could you play that clip again? The guy who wrote this song is a bad, bad boy. Big story today.
Naughty boy.
A naughty, naughty boy.
You light up my eye with a shiner.
This guy's a creep. We'll tell you why next. Opie and Anthony. We have a parody song alert. Parody song alert. Tim just handed me a parody song. Has something to do with the story of the day, my friends. Opie and Anthony, by the way. And it's not Prince Harry in trouble for saying Packy. Is Packy bad?
Not here as much.
Yeah.
I guess over in Europe it's a bad thing to do.
Bush said it. He said Packy. He didn't know that that's a real slur over there for, I guess, Pakistan.
He said my Packy friend.
Who?
Prince Harry.
All right, well, that's like dropping. I don't know if it's the equivalent of an N-bomb here, but that might be like saying spade or heave. I mean, it might not be as hateful as an N-bomb, but it's something.
Right. Well, we could quickly do this. It's a quick story, but then we'll do story of the day.
Anybody else around here? Please, you know, that's bad admin. That is bad admin. What's up, girls? No. Our little Packy friend. Oh, no. Having a bit of a GPS moment here. Are you? Oh, it looks like you are. Oh, baby, how are you doing? That's Dan. Come on. It's Dan at the moon. Look like a raghead. Look at me. Look at me. Look away.
Was that Prince Harry too?
Yeah.
So what else did he do?
Said raghead there.
Yeah.
One of his buddies was laying down in the terminal waiting to be shipped out, and he had his face all covered up, and he said, "You look like a raghead." And apparently that was a little bit of a slam, too.
Well, the thing is, who's filming this and releasing it? Like, what's scumbags are shooting this and releasing it?
Well, he was shooting it.
Well, how did it get released?
I don't know.
Look, with him, the difference is this. He's arguably going to... Isn't he going to possibly be the king of a country someday?
Nah.
He's third.
But he's third in line.
Third in line. I mean, his father's been waiting 40 years or whatever it is.
When you got
How many years has his father been waiting?
Yeah, about 40.
When you got that much influence...
And then the older son, I mean, the odds that he becomes... Yeah, the odds he becomes the guy, slim to none.
When you got that, when you're part of the upper part of the royal family...
Right.
Oh, yeah,
you got to watch what you say, just because you're like the real representative of like the head of the country. It's like that's how they say it. It just makes everybody look bad.
It doesn't matter though. He's dressed in a Nazi uniform for a party.
Yeah, he don't
that
care.
Went away. Nothing. They're untouchable.
Right.
You know, there'll be controversy and people go, "Oh, look what he did," but what are they going to do? Exile him somewhere? Guys, he's going to be the prince, and they're not going to touch him.
Let's get to the story of the day.
Our song. I bet the guy she was singing that about was real happy. Actually, she was singing about God. Oh, well, he's always happy. No, wait, he's always mad.
They rock cannon that in. Whatever. The guy that penned "You Light Up My Life."
Yes.
Debbie Boone made it a #1 hit. What year? Like 19... I would guess 70... Oof. 2 maybe.
6, I would say.
Mid-70s?
76.
76. Good job. Who's got the story in front of him? I don't have it.
I got it. Songwriter Joseph Brooks, writer of "You Light Up My Life," suspect in sex attacks.
That's fantastic.
He's suspected in 5 sexual assaults. He played up apparently his Hollywood connections on Craigslist, which any of us would do. He was posting to lure aspiring models and actresses to his apartment. But the problem is he forced himself on them. He's 70 years old, and he made his money. He wrote a lot of jingles for Pepsi and Geritol. Obviously a relevant man.
Yeah.
And he's a suspect in 2 rapes, a sodomy case, and 2 sexual assaults. So at least he balanced out the 5.
Yeah.
He's not a predictable hack. He's either going to assault you or sodomize you or rape you. You don't know what you're in for. It's kind of like, it's like, what do they call it in Jeopardy? What do they call that?
Potpourri?
A potpourri.
Oh,
Yes.
potpourri.
The women were hooked. They were hooked by his promise of parts in his next movie, which I guess he was going to shoot quickly because he's 70. And he boasted about his Oscar, and he said he'll show it to them at his pad. And he did before bonking them over the head with it. He painted his penis gold.
Here it is.
Here you go. Grab the Oscar, stupid. And 2 of them were reported being doped with like a date rape drug.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, so he's using high-tech stuff. And
Yeah. And,
He was banging cocktail waitresses 2 at a time.
players couldn't get assaulted at the table.
He was the greatest piece of ass I've ever had, and I've had him all over the world.
He said that he had a stroke like 6 months ago. It was debilitating. So I guess he's trying to say that I couldn't have done this.
Ah, yeah.
But the first of the assaults, apparently, or the alleged assault, was in November of 2006, and it was like some 22-year-old woman, and she said she was sexually abused at the Carlisle Hotel. And another assault allegedly took place in his apartment in May of 2007, and 3 more, I think, took place over a 2-week stretch. Apparently, Mr. Brooks went on a real run.
A bender.
Well, it was right around his 70th birthday, so
Yeah.
he was celebrating the big 7-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, what better way to do that?
What's wrong with these women? You can't fight off a 70-year-old? 22-year-old can't fight off a 70-year-old man?
Oh.
I've seen pictures of this guy. He's like, not much going on there.
Well, he would drug them, though. So
Good
the
point.
drugging-
Good point.
Do we have any of that Pepsi? He did that. You got a lot to live, and Pepsi's got a lot to give.
Wow, he wrote that?
Oh, that's a
Pepsi's got a
biggie.
lot to give. How's that go?
You got a lot to give, and Pepsi's got a lot to... Something like
Do we
that.
have that?
Yeah. You'll find it somewhere.
Oh,
God, yeah, you could probably beat him with his own bag.
Yeah.
70.
Where you pull it back up over his face and head so he thinks there's a ghost, and it's just him with his bag over his head. Help! There's a ghost. Oh, it's me. That hurts.
Wow, a song like this, and there it is, just pouring his emotions out on paper. Hope to carry on. Is he singing about? Is she singing about Jesus, the Lord?
Probably.
Is it in the movie? Does she sing about God, or does she sing to a guy?
I have no idea. I don't remember the movie.
And is it Debbie Boone in the movie?
Was it a song? Yeah, I think they made a movie out of the song. They made a movie so they could use the song. Yeah, what is it? You got it yet up on IMDb? Who's starring that piece of crap? She must have gotten so sick of singing this goddamn thing.
She dead?
Because, no, she's still kicking.
She's still singing this song somewhere.
Oh, somewhere. Down in Brantford or wherever it is.
Branford?
Brainerd?
Oh, Brainerd.
No. We could take care of it right here in Brainerd. I'm cooperating here.
Well, it leads to the You Light Up My Life parody that just came in from Tim from down the hall. There's a reason why you haven't heard from Tim lately on our show, but we figured, what the hell today?
I thought he died.
Yeah.
Well, here it is.
So many nights I log on to Craigslist, hoping to lure chicks into my home. I'll drug their drinks and force myself on them. That has been placed, and now you come along. You will pass out.
Can you pause this?
It's not even trying.
I'm trying to describe a level that this stinks at. Like, wouldn't you rhyme it like you raped my wife? Or
Yes,
how about something that rhymes with wife? Something that ties in.
We got 30 seconds left. Let's see how it
Knife.
ends.
You could use a bunch of
Strife.
Yeah.
You will lie down right on my couch, and I will undress and fill your with me.
That's it, huh?
That's the parody song from Tim.
Wow. And
of course, David is standing by to talk about the song parody, right, Steve? At this point, you would send David in, right, Steve?
Why would
Thank you.
David be in here?
David, what do you think of that? What do you think of your performance there?
I thought the performance was pretty good. I didn't write the lyrics, though. I have to say that.
You don't like the lyrics,
No,
right?
Tim wrote the lyrics.
You don't like the lyrics?
Nah.
What was wrong with the lyrics?
I don't know. It seemed like very like a quick writing. It was very basic.
Yeah.
You would have wrote something better?
Maybe. If I knew that.
What if we gave you the story and you write your own song?
Maybe.
You want to try it? No.
Maybe. Yeah, I could definitely do it. Yeah, give me that if I read the whole entire story through. Yeah.
You're quite a crooner there.
I'll definitely try to. Maybe I'll try to come up with one.
You know you're tone deaf, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah, who cares? I can't sing a lick.
I can't sing. I never claimed to be a good singer.
I hear you're in trouble at home, huh? Mom and Dad not happy with you lately?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
What happened? I heard tell something about maybe Friday's show or something.
Let's straighten this out.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
What happened?
What happened, though? We heard something happen.
No, nothing happened, really. It's just...
When you got home, what happened?
I heard they might have heard about the D.L. Hughley thing. Is that true?
They heard about it, yeah.
Where did they hear about it? Of course, that's where D.L. helped you out because you haven't had much action and you went to a massage parlor.
Yeah.
I think that may be a little action. I don't know. I wasn't there. But with that said, they found out about that.
Yeah.
How did they find out about that?
I have no idea, to be honest. I haven't the slightest idea.
So they probably laughed, right? They were like, that was a funny bit.
Yeah.
No, they didn't laugh.
What did they say about it?
They just were upset.
Why? What did they say?
Just upset. Like they're like, it's not really such a good thing to do.
What did they say? How did you know they knew, or did they suspected?
How did I know?
Yeah.
They told me that they knew.
Okay, and then you were like, what was your response?
I told them what happened.
And then what did they do? Do you not see the pattern here?
I see the pattern. Yes, I see the pattern. They're just like upset that I did such a terrible thing. They're just upset about it. That's pretty much it.
What did they say?
Yeah. They just said, like, why would you go to a place like that? Like, don't you know it's illegal? You could get diseases and stuff.
Did you say, Mom, it was only a hand? You can't get diseases from there?
I told them that there's no diseases, nothing really too sexual took place. I said so, yeah.
And then what did they say?
They just were upset, and they just said not to do anything like that ever again.
Oh, really?
Is it also true you walked home on Friday, whatever, walked in the house, and they smelled what we put on you?
Yeah, my mother was home. She smelled it, yeah.
What'd she say about that?
She said, oh, that's disgusting. Why would you do a thing like that? Why would you have that all over your clothes? That's disgusting. And she was upset about it.
Do we have to keep saying, and then what did you say? And then what did she say? And then what did you say? Could you just tell a story?
I'm telling you what happened.
You're not. We're questioning you like a hostile witness.
I'm telling the
for
story.
the love of God, David, listen to me. Tell the story. Friday, you left work.
Yes,
you smelled like crap.
Yes, that's correct. I smelled like crap.
You got home.
I got home, yes.
And then what happened without us having to go back and forth? Then what did he say? What did she say? What
This is like, they say it all the time, like pulling teeth. This is like pulling teeth.
Right, I understand.
Pulling gold teeth. You want to be on
the radio.
They smelled the disgusting smell, my mother. And she said, oh, that's pretty disgusting. It's pretty disgusting. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? And I said it was they wanted me to smell that, and it was for a bit that we did. She said she was very disappointed in me.
Oh, she said she was very disappointed.
Yes.
Ah.
And what did you say?
I said, it's not that big of a deal. I just was like, it's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it. And then I told them that perhaps it's going to happen it could happen another time. Perhaps they can do it another time.
Ah, so you straighten it right out. You go, look, it's not a big deal. And on top of that,
it's possible that they could do it again. It's possible. I don't know for sure, but it's possible you guys could do it again. Yeah. And and I was warned to wear some old clothes that I don't mind getting smelly and disgusting.
Ah.
Yes. Because they do not want to go through the whole process of washing my jacket and my clothes all over again.
Yeah.
Why didn't you wash them? You're 26, right?
Yeah, really?
Yeah. I did. I washed them, and then my parents washed them after. 2 washes.
2 washings?
2 washings. Yeah, first I washed it by hand to get all the smell out, yeah.
By hand?
Yeah.
What, with like a scrub board? What year is this?
Soap and water, yeah.
What?
Soap and water, yeah.
And then,
a washing machine works better.
We did that. The washing machine was afterwards, the second time.
Why wouldn't you just put it in the washing machine twice?
I don't know.
Save water.
Yeah.
They should have told you to just leave your clothes outside and go in and take a shower.
Yeah. I took a shower like right when I got home. I took a shower. Yeah. And then there was like a lingering smell in my house from like the path the path when I walked from the house up to the bathroom. There was a lingering smell. For like the whole weekend. There's a lingering smell.
Whole weekend.
Yeah, the whole weekend there's a lingering smell.
It's funny that you said that might happen again, but you don't say that the massage parlor might happen again.
That's not going to happen again.
Why, you didn't like it?
I liked it. I'm not going to go. I don't know if I should ever. I liked it. It's not really a good idea to go back there.
Why? Not only is it not a good idea, it's a great idea.
Why is it a great idea?
Okay, let me spell it out for you.
Yeah.
Because she gives you a massage and then rolls you over on your back and continues to massage you in what winds up being a fantastic fashion.
You didn't find that
I found
pleasurable?
It was pleasurable. It's also not. It's also as I've been told. It's also as illegal.
You almost said, as my mother said.
Yes, you did.
As I've been told, it is illegal.
So what?
You know how many people? You know how many people go there to those places, and how many people actually get busted? It's the odds.
3 people have been busted there since 1950.
Astronomical. They rub you like a mezuzah down there.
That's funny.
And it felt good, right?
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
This might be a moral thing with you and your parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
That could be the problem.
More of a psychological thing than physical. You'd go back there in a second to feel that again.
Perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps.
But you don't want to disappoint your parents?
Nah, definitely not.
They were disappointed in you?
Yeah.
They say this is not what you signed up for, as far as your internship goes?
No, they didn't say that. No, they just wanted me to try to use more like ethical behavior and stuff. More common sense.
Mm-hmm. Wrong show for that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not so much that it's illegal. They're worried that there's like could be random bacterial and sexual diseases floating around.
Floating around?
Yeah.
It don't happen like that. They use their mitts. It's not like they got to...
Their mitts?
They're a hand, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Them mitts.
Did they threaten to kick you out of the house?
Not for...
Well, they did.
Not for that one thing.
You just don't want to talk about it on the air.
Not for that. Yeah.
Really?
What? Just a combo of everything?
No.
If your shenanigans continue, did they say?
Perhaps. We'll see.
Like, if you do that again...
Sam, what do you know?
You won't be living in this house.
He's
Sam's
avoiding...
just chomping at the bit over here.
He's avoiding the issue at hand here. What did you hear, Sam?
Well, because it's really an intriguing story. His parents are getting really fed up because he's working, like, selling movie tickets on the weekends.
I'm not selling movie tickets.
What are you doing on the... What's your job?
It's not selling movie tickets. It's for performances. It's like answering phones, providing customer service for like selling tickets. It's similar to movie tickets. It's similar to what you're saying.
That's right. So his parents are waiting for him to get like a real job and to come home with like a career. And instead, he's telling me that he's coming home and he smells one day, and the day before that, they find out he's going to a masseuse parlor, and so they have threatened.
Masseuse parlor? Hold on, let me ask Aunt Sam exactly what that is.
I don't know, a masseuse place. And that yes, it seems from David that they've gotten completely fed up with his antics.
And they threatened kicking him out.
That's what David told me.
David, what did they say exactly? If you do this again, or if you...
Yeah.
What was the threat?
How was it phrased?
No, they're pretty much just like, don't want me to use common sense and not to do that, like, something like the ugly thing ever again.
Isn't common sense doing what needs to be done for this show by you? I mean, you've made a name for yourself on this program.
I certainly have.
So obviously, that's good, right?
That's very good for me, yeah.
Yeah. So isn't that good common sense for this program?
Certainly is for me, yeah.
Yeah. Have you explained that to your parents?
I've explained to them, yeah.
And why do they keep saying have common sense and you might get kicked out?
I don't know. They're just being normal parents. I think any parent would do. I think any parent would feel like that.
How old are you? You're closer to 30 than 20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
26.
Why why are you still at home?
Because he
shrugged.
Let's just... Anytime
he doesn't have a good job.
Anytime you hear the bell, people, that means he just silently shrugged into the microphone.
Or answered facially, or did something that's non-communicative.
Something that
auditorily.
does not work at all on the radio.
So did you tell your parents, like, look, this is good for my career?
I told them, yeah.
And if they don't like it, lump it. What type of language you got to use?
Yeah. They were excited when I told them I started out on Friday as being a producer for like a half hour, 45 minutes.
Oh, they were excited because Stunty was out.
Yeah, I was the new stunt brain I was supposed to be the new stunt brain for the entire CBS show.
But you lasted a half hour?
A half hour to 45 minutes until the bit occurred when you sprayed me. Yeah.
That's funny. Don't try to Jew him down, Opie. It was.
Yeah, that was
that's a bigger laugh on that. All right.
That's the warm-up half hour.
Yeah, until
you don't actually need anybody for that first half hour.
Yeah.
So you really. So you really weren't the producer.
How much?
I was not really. No.
It's like giving your kid, like, I don't know, the police badge and going, "Oh, you're now the."
Do you make?
You're the sheriff.
You make enough to get your own place?
Nah.
Of course not.
No, one day.
He has like a minimum wage job, basically.
Correct.
Yeah. What are you going to afford with that?
Yeah. When I become the
head,
head
have to live in a room with 20 other Mexicans with that type of money.
20 Mexicans.
That's funny. Mexicans. He finds that very funny.
Well, they actually do that. That's why.
Yeah.
They don't like live in one.
Right.
All right, this is going great. We're going to take a break. We're going to mop up and get the F out of here. Thanks, David, for adding nothing to
Thank you.
What could have been a fine segment.
Thank you.
He says thank you.
Opie and Anthony. All right, we're heading out of here. I think we could throw a quickie in for the people before the music marathon starts here in New York City. It's a bit Laszlo left for us. Got to give him something after sitting through commercials, right?
Yeah.
In this day and age, no one wants to sit through commercials. They will if there's something on the other side, though. Jeff Goldblum to slow down his audio. It's a bit that Craig Ferguson pretty much made popular. We've done a few on our show. It's all over the joint these days. But Laszlo found Jeff Goldblum slow down. What's up? I know he did this. We're doing it again. What?
I thought you forgot that we did it.
Hell no. Some of these stuff you do more than once. It's a new audience. So you slow him down, he sounds very drunk. So we'll play this as we leave you guys today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned for the music marathon, though. No more commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Goldblum sounding drunk, and then right into music. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, did you ever ask anybody what their favorite color is? I'm sure you have, or people have asked you. It's not the most interesting question, but how many times do you say beige? Never. Because it's one of the worst colors. It's hardly even a color. It's like oatmeal or sand, or it's nothing. It's beige, it's boring, it's bland. Now, computers, why in heaven's name have the people who've made computers before never done anything but beige? That's nuts. That's nuts. Have they been in thinking jail? That's crazy.
Get Anthony Show. I'm very excited to say that Don Wildman is in studio, host of Cities of the Underworld, a show I actually watch. Sometimes we have to make believe we watch these shows, but in this case, I actually watch Cities of the Underworld.
That's cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
It's extremely cool. Like all this stuff that is just completely forgotten.
I know. It's all underneath there. And it's weird to be here, I mean, in New York City, and like I watch myself on TV, and I'm in places like Ethiopia and Egypt, and it's like a double reality.
Yeah.
And then you're there, and it's double reality because you're like walking around, but the show is actually about tunnels and tombs and stuff like that.
Well, we last time we were in here, we were talking about New York City.
Yeah, cool.
How far does it go down?
Everything. What?
Some of the stuff you could explore under New York City.
If you went underneath Grand Central, you're going like 100 feet below. I mean, surprisingly, if you look for the deepest tunnel they're digging now, it's, I think, 125 feet down below. It's all the way underneath, going from Jersey City all the way across to Queens now.
Right.
Underneath of us. So, I mean,
what are they building that for?
They're doing they decided that they wanted to fix the problem that a person going to Long Island shouldn't have to go over to Penn Station.
Oh, right.
So they got to go to Grand Central. You know, inside the next 5 years, you'll be able to go down to Grand Central and buy a ticket and go to Long Island instead of this century-long problem of going over to Penn Station.
Yeah. Wow.
And then the big fantasy is that you'll be in Jersey City and you could go to Long Island on the same. It's LIRR.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Making it more convenient for us.
Exactly.
Have you ever been bitten by a rat?
No. Have you?
No.
I've seen them. I work with them constantly.
I had one hiss at me recently, and it's horrifying.
Really, yeah. They're bigger here than anywhere else.
Huge, yeah.
I mean, really. Like, I used to live in Tribeca, and they were on my garbage cans every night. It was disgusting and strange, and they have personalities.
They sure do. And they're not easy to fucking kill. That's the problem with those
we were in these Chinatown tunnels in San Francisco, and frequently I do these bits with these like city engineers who take me down into these sewers.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are proud of their sewers. I mean, it's their life, and they love the engineering of it. And, you know, you kind of can vibe with it while you're there because it's impressive that all this has been built up and they keep it running. But in the end, you're down in the tunnel and people are flushing their toilets into you. And you're working around, literally, we're like trying to place ourselves so that you're not between the dry cleaner here and the person who's, you know, flushing their toilet. And literally the stuff comes right out and falls around you. And these rats are all over the place, because it's their home and they don't deal with anybody down there ever. So it's just part of life that you got this rat running across your shoulder and you're trying to be natural on television.
It's amazing. They say there's more rats in New York City than people. But
exactly. Do you ever? There are some amazing stories.
Where the fuck are they? Right. I mean, you see one every once in a while, but where the fuck are they?
They're good at staying away, you know?
Which is so creepy if you think about it.
They used to have these stories of ships coming in,
right?
And they'd have to get, because it was all that came in here before, and they'd have to go out and get inspected to make sure they didn't have so many rats. And there was like this fabled ship that had and more rats than imaginable, and they got off.
Really?
And like, it was the beginning of a new species in New York of some Norwegian rat or something like that.
I think that's the one we have the most of.
That's
seriously,
right. Exactly.
I read a whole book on rats. I don't know why, but I did.
It's like pigeons, the same thing. You know, people start looking into it. There's all these species, and one has dominated where the others have failed, and it's very fascinating.
Yeah. Well, cities of the underworld, you start with San Francisco, huh?
Well, actually, we're in the middle of the season right now. I finished shooting just before the holidays. I came back from Australia, but San Francisco was a couple of months ago, and I like doing the domestic episodes myself. I mean, it's really great to travel elsewhere, but the domestic episodes just kind of put you in the face of what really made America great and all that sort of thing. And San Francisco's pretty wild. They had a huge... Really, the city got going in the mid-1800s with the gold rush, okay? The gold rush brought so much gold into San Francisco, and there was no Panama Canal in those days. There was barely a railroad, so the gold stayed there, and that was like a hot potato. So everything that happened in San Francisco in those days was about this huge amounts of wealth that was sitting there in one building, the San Francisco Mint, in the basement. And so we do a segment in there where literally you can walk into these old rooms. They've just recently opened this place back up. Into these old vaults, and you walk around and you can see the impressions of the silver dollars and the gold bullion in the walls. There was so much wealth in these things that the burlap sacks would get pushed into the walls and leave their dents from these things. I mean, everywhere. I heard about that and I was like, yeah, whatever. It's going to be a cute little thing. It's like the wallpaper on the wall is America's wealth.
Yeah.
Really interesting. A very impressive statement on how rich we got really fast. As a result of that, they had to build a fortress in the middle of the bay, a Civil War era fortress, before the war, actually. And that was there because they were worried eventually about the Confederacy coming up and stealing all that gold, okay? That fortress became Alcatraz, all right? They built the prison on top of those foundations. So we do a segment where I go underneath the Alcatraz, which is a tourist place. You can go, anybody can go there. But, yeah,
I was just going to jump in. I loved Alcatraz. For the most part, I hate doing touristy things.
Yeah.
But that was probably the greatest thing I've ever done when visiting another city. And I remember kind of walking, and they have places roped off, and I'm like, wow, this is cool, but I want to see what the fuck is down that hallway.
That's where we went.
And you got to do all that.
It's amazing.
Because there's just a million paths they don't allow you on.
Exactly. But you know what? That's the most...
How far does that go down?
Another like 50 feet.
Really?
You go underneath. You go into the foundations that are there, that are the original fortress, and you see all the sort of leftover architecture and stuff of that fortress. But then there's like these breaks in the floor where you can go down even further. And like the coolest part of that segment that we did was me just sort of saying, "What's this down there?" Which is frequently what we do on the show. And the guy, the ranger, who's on his own agenda, says, "Well, if you want to take a look, go ahead." Of course, we spend the entire segment going, "Oh my God, there's a tunnel underneath there." So it's literally as wide as my shoulders, and we just squeeze through. And this little drainage tunnel, which was from the 1800s, had been running underneath of Alcatraz for the entire time, and you can literally drop off the end and into the San Francisco Bay. So, I mean, it was like the perfect escape from Alcatraz idea.
I saw that. I saw the episode, and there's one moment where it's a very claustrophobic feeling, and you're in this teeny tunnel. Yeah. But then you kind of came to a manhole cover.
Right. It was
where was that? Because you didn't go up into it. Where was the manhole? Where would that have opened up?
That was at the end of the tunnel, and that is a shaft that goes down. That was outside the prison. A shaft that goes down to like it's sort of, you fall down into a hole, and that hole goes off into the bay. So
people could have escaped from
exactly. So that was the suspicion, and it kind of made for a fun kind of fantasy thing.
Yeah, sure.
But there's kind of, and then you get into the 60s of San Francisco, and actually the 70s in this case. There was a group called the Suicide Club. Have you ever heard of this club? I heard about it, but I never knew what they were.
Is it? No.
Yeah, they were like
I had a joke, but I wasn't going to go with it. It was a bad one.
Yeah, it was like that documentary about the bridge. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Ugh, spooky.
We had the guy in, and then we had the guy that survived.
Really?
That jumped and survived.
Oh my God! Does he joke about it or anything? I mean,
he was a bit lighthearted.
Wow.
Sure, a little bit.
It's awesome.
But that documentary was insane.
I know.
Setting up the cameras for a year, 18 months, something like that,
yeah.
and just capturing many, many people killing themselves.
Exactly.
Seeing little dots in the background. That's another person ending their life.
Yeah, you just, like the big grand macro shot of the bridge, and you see this little splash at the bottom of it.
Yep.
Like
and no one knows. For the most part, no one knows. Cars are still driving. People are still biking.
Creepier watching like the tight shot on it.
Yeah.
You see the guys kind of look around, and then they just sit there and ponder it for a few seconds, and then just go,
what the hell?
Topple right in.
So weird. So you never see like that on film. Somebody deciding when their life should end.
That moment.
Bizarre.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I liked the documentary.
I know, exactly. It was ethically
a little
strange.
exploitive, I think.
Which is okay by me. I don't really care, but it was just...
whatever's happening out there, film it, document it, who cares? Yeah.
What you're saying,
the Suicide Club is a little more upbeat than that. It was a group of people who used the term loosely and tongue-in-cheek because they actually wanted to face death in order to live life as high as you could. So these guys, like 1976 or so, a bunch of 20-year-old guys decided that they would do things like manacle themselves together and go into a storm waves, and prove that they would live through it and therefore live, as well as they could. So these guys are still around, and they're writing books about it and stuff because they were fabled within that world out there. And so one of these guys, a guy named John Law, who's just a terrific guy, blindfolded us because they know these places that nobody else knows in San Francisco and elsewhere. I mean, one of his favorite places to go is Detroit. They're urban explorers, and so their claim to fame and their point of pride is that they know where to go that nobody else does. And they literally have like covered up entrances and disguised them, and only a select group of people are allowed to know where they are.
Very cool.
They're very serious about it. I mean, to the point of like, come on, we're just a TV show here, come on. But they wouldn't let us know, and they made us. We had to give them our cameras, blindfold us, not kidnap us, but put us in the back of a van, drive us to this unknown location, undisclosed, and then lead us out. So we decided to film the whole thing. So that's on in the show. And they take us, and they only let us take the blindfolds off when they had gotten us down into it. And what it turned out to be was this huge, like, mega defensive fortification that was built either in World War I, World War II, or the Cold War. Sort of, you couldn't tell because it had been stripped out of all the metal, and it was just tunnels. But it was really a cool experience, and sort of gave you this glimpse as to what makes San Francisco kind of cool, what made America kind of cool. It was really neat. I loved it.
I just find it really interesting that there's so much shit under there.
Yeah.
Like under the whole country. Mm-hmm. Things that people just will never know about. never think about.
Just keep.
And then you pop it on your
building.
show, and you look and go, "What? That's
I
under
know,
there?"
exactly.
Are you going to run out of places to visit, you think?
We went and through a whole list. I think one more season is about as much as you could do.
That sucks for you.
I know.
Sucks for you.
But what if I go above ground too?
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
and then don't go down anymore. That'd be great, huh?
My favorite episode was the Portland one.
Really?
Yeah, I think we talked about it last time, but
White slavery always sells.
Well, it was to get the guys to bootleg and stuff, right? Go to China because no one wanted that gig because you had to be gone for 2 years. Excuse me, 2 years or
You
something.
went around. I think it's 3. The average global sale was like 3 years, 3 years long. And
So what they did in Portland, you're in these gin mills getting hammered, and next thing you know, the floor drops.
Yeah.
Drops you below. There was a whole like a holding cell down there.
Yeah.
And then they put you on a boat, and when you sobered up, it was too late. You were on your way to China.
It's
What
the
were we going to
ultimate-
do? Jump overboard?
Date rape taken to the nth degree, right?
Because no one wanted to sign up for this, so they figured out, well, this is too valuable for us. What were they getting?
Shanghaied.
They get Shanghaied, it was called.
No,
Yeah.
but what were we getting? Gold and stuff? I forgot.
From China?
What were we bringing back?
What would you get from China? I don't know.
I say spices.
Yeah.
Spices, molasses.
Opium,
For some
probably.
reason, when they went out on the ships, I was looking for
For
spices.
some reason, molasses was very valuable.
Molasses.
And none of us could understand why in this day and age.
They would get woken up, like they'd get opiated in some way and sent on these boats, and then they would wake up and be given a choice. You're either going to get thrown overboard or you work for the crew.
Yeah.
Right.
Which worked, and so these guys would stay with it and off we went.
Where else?
Yeah.
Where else you going this
Well,
year?
we just finished. You know, I literally went twice around the globe in both directions on this season. So I came home just recently before the holidays from Australia. We did Sydney there, which was actually.
What'd you find in Sydney?
First of all, a cool city. You know, like I wasn't
Everyone says so.
I wasn't that turned on by it. You know, about going and the Olympics. Enough about Sydney. And we got there, and I was like, oh, that's why it's cool, because it's like a really cool city. It's like San Francisco to me, in that it's sort of very immediately, wow, this is a unique environment. It's all water. It's harbors and ferries and beautiful beaches. I mean, unbelievable. Gorgeous women, I must say. Very striking people. And so we went there, and that was on the end of like a 2-month tour that took us to Egypt, Turkey, Ethiopia. That was that stint. Unbelievable places.
But what'd you find in Sydney? Anything you could?
Sydney was like was so similar to San Francisco in that it was a sampling of different places rather than like thematically based. We studied how they dealt with World War II kind of in tandem to the fact that it was a penal colony in the back in the day. You know, Australia is like a completely unique environment, society, because they were invented as a penal colony by the British Empire, you know, and it was this kind of weird social engineering thing that went on where the Brits had this brilliant idea. Let's populate this far-flung place in the South Pacific because it's probably going to be strategically important someday, and we'll do it by sending like the gnarliest criminals and the ones who know trades, so that they're going to be stuck down there, and then they'll get out of their prison sentence and they'll decide to stay there. And so generations of this happened from like the early 1800s onward, and by the time it got to the 1900s, there were like lots of people there who were good at what they did and had been criminals and or sons of or whatever, and they had a population. So it was this fascinating thing. So we studied the penal colony, which is actually on an island in the middle of their Alcatraz, in the middle of their harbor called Cockatoo Island. And the guys died there like crazy and building things underground.
I know you do stuff underground, but did you do the what is it called, the bridge walk?
Yeah, my wife did that.
Did you do it?
I didn't do it.
Holy!
What? She thought it was. I was like rolling my eye. I don't want to do the bridge walk, and she went.
You walk up on.
You pay a lot of money to do it.
You walk on the what's suspending the bridge.
They cable you onto some tracks.
Insane.
Yeah, you go all the way to the top of this thing, and I was actually surprised to hear that it's actually pretty daunting thing to do.
You should have done it.
I should have done it. I was
Your
working.
wife showed you up.
It's a beautiful.
You're probably scared of heights, hence the.
That's right.
Underground.
Are you kidding?
What about
Look, I brought you some
Vietnam?
pictures. I did Vietnam in the second season.
Yeah.
And the
Vietnam show was amazing.
Yeah, because
Coochie
obviously
tunnels.
they know a lot. You know, there's been myths and legend about the tunnels and the tunnel rats. And
the Viet Cong won the war underground in many ways, because they had these amazing tunnel systems that were massive and extensive, and they reached all the way down from central Vietnam into southern. So they could basically, in a day's walk, come out of the end of their tunnel systems and be in Saigon. You know, it was like really close to
do their
everything.
damage, get back in.
Exactly. And they were designed specifically, they were dug very carefully so the tank tracks would not run over them in such a way. They show that on the show. It's really fascinating how smart they were about it. You know, you think of tunnels as being like, I don't know, just dig some. People really engineer these things.
And whole towns would live underground too.
Exactly.
That didn't want to be part of the war, but wanted to be out of the way. Like, fuck this. We're going to live underground until they figure out what the hell's going on.
There's something called the Vinh Mac tunnels, which are in actually northern Vietnam, right above the DMZ, and this whole village of, I don't know what it was, like 700 or something like that. This whole village went underground for 7 years.
7 years.
And
hospitals, schools, everything.
They had 17 babies were born underground. I met one of these guys, and they had a film theater. I mean, it wasn't luxurious by any means, but these spaces were large enough to house people in. Everybody had their own little cave underground. You kind of can't wrap yourself around it until you see these things. And that's what I do. That's what I like about the show is that I was genuinely, like you, very interested, but completely in the dark, no pun intended, about what was down there. Like, how does that work? And you go down and you're like, it works really, really well. Like, why aren't we all living underground?
You just showed me some pictures of Egypt now. What did you find in Egypt? Did you get to go into some of the tombs?
Oh, yeah. We went into the oldest pyramid. That's right there, the Step Pyramid.
Right.
They gave us really good access. First of all, Egypt has like 95% of Egypt is unexcavated, which was shocking to me. When you consider how famous King Tut is and all this, you know, this is a big place for archaeology. They still haven't done the lion's share of stuff there, and they'll tell you that. That being said, there's a lot there, so there's a lot that's been found. Most recently, about 3 hours south of Cairo, there's a place called the Valley of the Golden Mummies. And it just sounds like a movie title, right?
No kidding.
But it's true. I mean, you'll see in there's these wide, all right, so it's just desert. There's nothing there. You drive out and you're literally it's called the Bahariya Oasis, so it's beautiful in one part, but over here it's just nothing but desert. And you're standing there saying, what the hell? And they point at these like 7 little structures that are in the midst of this huge vastness. And they're put up like a few years ago because it wasn't like more than 7 years ago that a donkey's hoof went through the ground. Somebody was walking across this desert. Donkey's hoof went underground. They were like, oops, there's something underneath there. So Zahi Hawass, who's the Dr. Zahi Hawass, if you look at CNN and there's a pyramid segment or something about Egypt.
They always get him.
This man is always on. He's like the Indiana Jones of Egypt, and he's a 5-star general. The guy scares the hell out of you. And so he actually took me on this tour because it's his personal cause to see this place excavated. The thing about it is, there's only 37 mummies that have been found underneath these 5 or 7 structures. I can't remember what. That's of 10,000. Literally predicted to be 10,000 mummies are under this sort of mile square area, I guess. And the reason was fascinating because in a later period, like in 300 BC, which is actually New Egypt versus that which we hear mostly about the thousands of years old, around that time, people had gotten kind of, the middle class had rose up. You know, they had some money. And so being a mummy, being mummified when you were dead was sort of a hip thing to do. The pharaohs did it, you know, for them thousands of years at the time ago. And so normal people, merchants and so forth, would get mummified and put down underneath the ground with their riches and all that stuff that we've heard about from the Tut stuff. So it was like every man's version of being a king and being sent to the afterlife. And so this place was a wine merchant place, lots of wine there, or some kind of like a fortified wine or something. And so they had a lot of money. And so a lot of people did this over generations, 10,000 people underneath there. So they're going to leave most of the tombs unexcavated, filled with sand. They don't even go in and get them just because that's the best way to preserve them. But they opened up these 7 of them, and it's phenomenal. You go down. Nobody can do this, by the way. It's like you got to be with Zahi Hawass to do this. We crawl down into this thing, and these mummies are there all lined up, and they have these golden masks on, literally gold leaf masks, and they're like falling apart in many ways, but their chest plates are still there, and it's like going to a museum, but you're not in a museum. You know, you're where it is.
Yeah, that's where they did it.
Yeah, that's you know, very, very special feeling. You know, honored to be here with you, and let alone, you know, he's firsthand. He's the guy that actually dug this thing up.
Right.
That's really, really cool.
Awesome.
So that's just one thing. We go into the Step Pyramid, equivalent experience of the oldest structure. That's what's right there.
Yeah.
There's 197 pyramids in Egypt. I throw that number out. It's months ago in my head. It might be wrong, but it's something like that. where everybody thinks there's the three big ones. No, there's like hundreds of them, and they're in various states of disarray and preservation. Some of them just look like mounds on the ground. But every one of them has some sort of underground underneath of it. So they excavate them as they go, but that's what they say. There's just
Is Egypt safe to go to these days?
Yeah, I mean,
there was a time after 9/11 that was just not a place you wanted to be.
The big thing that was there was that shooting at I think it was Luxor or something like some other place other than Cairo. Those guys came out and shot 58 people, 58 tourists,
Right.
just machine gun them. And so you think about it all the time. They give you a security guy while you're there, and these guys are phenomenal. They never talk to you. They're 6 feet tall and in a dark suit. Nobody wears a dark Western suit in Cairo. So if you see one of these guys, he's a security guy, and everybody knows it because strapped on his back is an Uzi,
Yes.
and they're like serious. So I happened to be with one of these guys. He was always in our van, whenever we went anywhere. You never got introduced to him. And I'm walking, trying to get to the Nile. Our hotel was right next to the Nile, but you had to go across. It was like FDR, like some big highway between it. And lots of traffic. And I said to the guy in broken, whatever, can I get over there? And he says, and he walks literally without hesitation, walks out into the middle of FDR Drive, the equivalent of, and all traffic stops because they knew it's a dark suit. He's got a new.
So we should just go there and wear dark suits.
Exactly, yeah. Except we're white people, they would not. Let's just think we're dumb American.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but I have to say, we did Egypt, we did Turkey, we do these places that are places that people always ask me, are they safe and stuff? And I guess if you went alone, you'd be feeling.
I went to Istanbul.
Fantastic,
years ago. Amazing.
Blew your mind.
What did you see there?
Oh, we did the whole thing. We did Turkey all the way down the coast and stuff.
Did you do Greece too?
No, we didn't do Greece.
What's cool about Athens, you go in a brand new hotel, and they have an escalator that goes down. Yeah. Let's say to whatever's down there, I forgot, a restaurant or what have you. All of a sudden, there's plexiglass and ruins right on the other side of the plexiglass.
Right. The thing that people forget, most people don't know, is that
they build around it and make it part of modern Athens.
It was a lot easier to bury things under the ground and build on top of them before there was the Industrial Revolution, before there were machines to take stuff away, trucks and stuff. And so they would generally, by practice, fill things in and then build on top of them. So it goes to figure that your cities would then, over time become built on top of each other.
Yeah.
And you'd end up, and it made sense because you'd have all those arches and stuff underneath, and that would give you stability.
Right.
And it saved a lot of trouble. So that's how things got buried so deeply. It's not that mysterious, really. In America, it's different because we've only been here for 100, 200 years, so therefore that didn't happen, and we had an industry most of that time.
Yeah.
So it's different when you go to an Athens or an Istanbul. There's a tremendous amount under Istanbul, like cisterns from, like the Byzantines and stuff, and there are thousands of years of excavation right in the middle of town. In fact, they've been digging a new subway line forever, and last 5 years or so, and they keep having trouble because they keep running into yet another, first time only. We found the wreck that was part of when the Golden Horn went further up than we thought it did, and they'd have to stop all construction, start all over, and excavate it first and move the thing in a different direction.
Wow. Amazing.
I hate to say this because I wasn't sure if it's your show or not. I was watching something. Probably, drunk or half asleep or something, and I'm going through the channels. But it was this, some Asian country.
Yeah.
And it was this giant room underground that they used for flood control.
Yeah, that was me.
That was you.
That was G-Cans in Japan.
Yeah. That was
unbelievable.
Amazing that could even be done.
Right. Well, that's the different aspect of the show. We do engineering and things too, but Tokyo had a huge flooding problem. About 5 or 7 rivers coming into Tokyo. So given any storm problem, all those rivers would flood, and they had huge floods in the past. And so they decided just to fix the problem, as Japanese people will do. And they built this system, which is called G-Cans. For what reason, I don't know, but it's the largest underground reservoir in the world, man-made reservoir. And it's basically 2 soccer fields dug up and then recovered. So that's the size of its space-wise.
How far down does it go again?
About 100 feet down. Yeah. and huge pillars.
Yeah.
It's so deep, and, it's wet and everything else, so it's its own, microclimate. You walk in there, it has clouds, and it's its own little world underground.
Yeah, there was a mist
exactly.
through the whole area, and the columns were giant.
Yeah,
the support columns for, I guess, the soccer fields.
They used that for a lot of commercials. They used it. They just shot a Land Rover commercial because it was, unbelievable to drive this car weaving through all those pillars through there.
It's insane the amount of water that can be held down there.
And moved. They had 4 Mitsubishi jet engines driving the turbines that would move. It's just untold amounts of water.
Yeah, how quickly they can move a hell of a lot of water.
Yeah.
I stopped right on that. It was just okay, that's amazing.
It's my biggest criticism with our show is that most of what we do could be focused on for a whole documentary. Our segments need to be an hour long.
Yeah. They go by way too fast.
Yeah. It's
no, take some more time.
Exactly.
Hey, unfortunately, I didn't see this one, but the whorehouse is underground in Rome. Or is that coming up in a...
It's in Naples. It's coming up on... Yeah, we did Rome.
It's coming up, okay.
Yeah, we did the Gladiator Undergrounds. And the gladiators were like these athletes of the time. I mean, really, what you thought, these childlike perceptions of what it was kind of true. Rome was unbelievably, cool.
Yeah, no kidding.
And so these gladiators were super athletes, and their managers would have to keep them happy. And so the ones that weren't rebellious and wanted to run off, they would frequently allow to go to the nearby whorehouses. And this particular amphitheater was like a minor league stadium for the Colosseum. I mean, it really was like that. There were amphitheaters all over the Roman Empire where you'd sort of work your way to the big time, which was Rome and the Colosseum. So in the meantime, you're down there near Naples in a place called Pozzuoli, and nearby was a town. And this town had this red light district, which is the basement now of what is going to be a museum. They hadn't made it yet, but some guy took me down into it. And you walk around in these rooms, and they all have these very old, sort of ghost-like illustrations on the doorways. And you look closer and you realize they're sexual positions. And they're like gladiators in sexual positions. And that was a prostitute advertising that she does gladiators. And she will do them in a doggy style. And she'll do, it was really, incredibly... sort of obvious.
You get to take pictures menu.
We did. It's on the show. This guy took me down there. This guy who was...
I can't wait to see that.
This Italian guy who was a little creepy, I have to say. And he had told me in private, he says, I just came back from Thailand. I was doing a sex tour.
Oh, jeez.
Really?
Why else would you go to Thailand?
Yeah, we're convinced
people
you
go to Thailand. It's like, if you're going to Thailand a few times,
something's going on with
something's up.
Were you kidding? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so anyway, he was actually a good expert for that purpose.
Well, Don, it's Cities of the Underworld, the show I definitely watch.
Cool.
And it starts tonight at 9 p.m. on the History Channel.
San Francisco this week.
San Francisco.
And then
sounds cool,
Egypt and I think Australia after that. Watch, please.
Well, they are watching. It's a hit. You keep coming back for the new season. All right, man.
Take it easy.
Thank you, Don. Don Wildman, everyone. We're going to take a quick break and continue. Opie and Anthony. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Opie and Anthony. We haven't even really discussed what happened on Friday's show. Of course, the boss is not really letting us off the hook, just keeping us all wondering all weekend long. I wrote one email and I got back, yeah, everything's okay for now, whatever the fuck that means, but, Earl took a header. The fainting goat, as Ronnie likes to call him.
Earl allegedly took a header. I'm not buying anything that he said that day. Sorry. I'm just not. I think he froze, he choked, he did whatever the hell he does. And when he realized he was getting all that attention by being on the floor, he just let it rock.
You don't even think he passed out?
No.
Really?
Not for real. His eyes, that fluttering act, stop it. Fucking epileptic doesn't go into shit like he went into on the floor. I wasn't fucking buying it. I wasn't. Sorry.
Sam showed me his iPhone photos of Earl in the hospital, laying on a gurney, with his hand on his head, really selling it real good. like, if anything, he hit his head.
Yeah, if anything, he hit his head. There was no damage done. And I kept asking him, I go, where does it hurt? Where did you hit your head? And he's like, all over the back is hurt, but this... Like, when you hit your head, you know exactly where you hit it. There's a bump, and then you press on it and go, fuck, that hurts. You don't hit the floor blinking like you fucking just underwent electroshock therapy.
Yeah.
And then he couldn't get up. He was, I don't know, I can't think. My thoughts are gone. I don't remember. What's the last thing you remember? I don't remember. Yes.
I was on Friday at my house. A friend of mine came by, and I was explaining the story to him. And I said, look, I was like, there's no way he hit his head harder than this. And I turned around, and I smashed my head into the wall. And I was like, that's probably harder than he hit his head.
Right.
Just to prove a point. And, you don't... Unless there's, like, some part of, like, funny bone in your skull. Like, that's not...
Yeah.
It wasn't hard. Like, look, I'm not going to say you can't get knocked out by hitting your head. Of course you can. But I don't... There was no way that he hit his head that hard. Like, I saw it go down. Like, it just simply was not hard enough to get that kind of a reaction from anyone.
He was selling it. It was a work, and he was selling it. So that's all.
So he faked the whole thing?
Well... I don't know, man. It's just like I know for a fact that there's nothing like I'm not retarded. I'm not gonna go and tackle Earl to the ground. Like that's stupid.
Yeah.
Why would I do that?
Are you gonna slam him down on the ground?
I basically touched his leg and people think I was people think everything. But they make it sound like I took him and I flipped him and it was like some crazy monkey flip. Dude, I hugged his leg.
Yeah.
And people are making it sound like, like I threw him into the floor like a pile driver.
It was nothing. You two were pretty much blocking each other from getting past.
Ridiculous.
And he went into this act like Tyson had just smashed him in the face.
Yeah, and you know what? If I've seen Tyson smash people in the face, and those people have gotten up quicker than Earl.
And they get up faster than Earl.
And they didn't have to lay down on a hospital gurney with their hand on their head.
Some of them was his bitches.
Like, if you want to, look, I don't know what kind of problems Earl has mentally or anything like that, but, once it starts to get serious, enough to, where now we have to call emergency medical services, and, now it's a real thing that's happened. Like, just cut the shit and just be like, all right, I'm all right. No, I'm cool. I'm fine. I'm all right.
Well, Ronnie said that it happened so many times. He goes, he doesn't know how many times they've called the ambulance because he's just passed out because he smelled Febreze.
But does he pass out?
Who knows if it's the truth or not?
I saw him pass out one day because, Ron was...
Was he faking the passing out?
I think,
I'm trying to figure all this out.
Because Ron was yelling
at him, and then all of a sudden I hear, Earl, and then I poked my head out, and he was just lying.
He passed out because he was being yelled at.
Well, why would you do that to yourself?
They call him the fainting goat. You ever see the fainting goats on YouTube?
So he can't handle pressure, and then he passes out? I'm trying to, see through this. I would never... under a stressful situation, all of a sudden pass out because that would make it just way worse.
But dude,
as soon as you quote wake up, all hell would break loose.
He's had tests and CAT scans and all kinds of other
everything's
shit.
Always
Everything's
negative.
Fine.
So what are we saying? He passes out and fakes that too?
I think he does it. I think he starts feeling stress and he starts feeling pressure, and I think that's his way of making it all stop. He knows that if he fakes a pass out, no one's going to yell at him.
And the problem then is gone.
Do you understand how weird that is? That's even weirder than just taking
psychotic.
With the way he was acting in the hospital, because he was there the whole time and he was selling it, but he admitted once we got to the hospital, because he had an oxygen mask on the whole way to the hospital.
Yeah.
So he was taking oxygen, and then when we got there, he said his head didn't hurt anymore. Then he said he definitely had a lump on his head, and so the doctor touched where the lump was and said, does this hurt? And he went, no, it doesn't hurt, which the lumps hurt. Then he had a CAT scan, which they said was completely normal. Nothing even to maybe worry about.
They found a cashew-sized brain in just solid skull.
But what it seems like to me is, I don't think he's consciously saying, okay, I'm going to fake fainting to get out of this, but I think he gets lightheaded because he starts stressing, and then mentally he just quits. And so he's like, if this were any worse, I'd pass out. And since he's quitting mentally, he just lets himself fall to the ground.
He just lets himself fall down.
That is weird.
Because I don't think
I
he's
can't
not
buy into that. He's faking passing out.
He's not consciously thinking when I wake up it'll be worse. He's just saying, how do I get out of this now?
I'm out of it.
I quit.
Which
Yeah,
is so
I gotta get out of this.
Psychotic.
Oh,
and
is this
bizarre.
here's the fainting goats.
Yeah, most people have seen the video of the fainting goats. A little pressure.
That's Earl. That's Earl right there.
How do they survive predators?
By the way, YouTube sensation. This is over 4.5 million hits. This video.
4.5 million hits.
Of course it is.
How do they survive? Wouldn't all the predators
Look
talk
at
about them?
Yeah. Dude, you just scare them, they all fall down, and then you just eat them.
Hilarious.
Look at Earl. Oh, my head. Oh, my head. I hurt my head.
Well, that was just so weird on Friday.
Just all down.
That's a good one.
And I love how the legs go straight out.
Yeah.
They're paralyzed.
But that's how Earl fell, too.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's that
his limbs went dead. Earl's limbs went dead.
Yeah, I think these goats, they get so freaked out that they stiffen up.
What do we make of?
It's not even that they're fainting. It's just that they're.
Let's make a video with Earl. Him fainting. We'll yell and scream and see who can get him to faint.
Spray him with Febreze and then just watch him topple over.
Such video's great.
Dumb fucking goats.
So that's where we're at, I guess.
Yeah, and then apparently, I guess Fezzi he broke his silence.
Oh,
and let fucking loose. He released the hounds on
How do you
Earl.
make your eyes look like that, though?
Yeah, look at that.
I can do that.
It's the same
That's
thing
the
he did
Undertaker.
when he got Febrezed and he fainted. He hit the ground and started rolling his eyes in the back of his head.
So is he fainting or not? That's all I want to know today.
Well,
That's
when I
great.
told the doctor his eyes rolled, because he still had no recollection of what happened. So I said, the doctor was like, well, was he unconscious? And I said, no, because his eyes were fluttering. He was kind of moving, but his eyes were fluttering and he was unresponsive. And they said, well, was there seizuring to go with the eyes fluttering? And I said, no. And they just chalked it up to being nothing then, because that's like a person having a seizure. Their eyes flutter back.
I mean, look at that. He's laid out.
Then he's a good actor.
His
Because
arms-
I bought into it Friday.
No, that eye fluttering thing made me think
What about
it was
his
bullshit.
What about his limbs just going dead like that?
He's laying down.
I don't think he thinks he's faking. I think he thinks that this is actually
thinks
happening.
it's really happening?
And doesn't realize he's just giving up.
We got the photos
Yeah.
up on opieandanthony.com.
Oh, they're fantastic. He looks like a zombie with his eyes rolled back there.
Right. So, I still don't have an answer. I don't think it's anyone's fault on Friday, and I don't think Danny should even have to deal with meetings or any of that crap. But
No.
I just want to know: does he faint for real when the stress gets too much, or he's faking the fainting too?
I got to download the Fez stuff because I heard he just lambasted.
yeah.
He laid into him
you know
so
what? I didn't-
fucking
to Earl?
bad.
Yeah. I didn't even know. I found out, actually somebody had commented on my Facebook saying that Fez was sticking up for me, and I was like, he broke his character over that?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He started dropping F-bombs left and right.
Yeah,
and
just
Ronnie-
completely unloaded on
Ronnie
him.
put the challenge out to us. He said, "I don't think you guys could get Fezzi to talk."
We did
and
it.
I think Ronnie, I'm sorry to tell you, but
well.
I think we were the ones, the catalyst to break up Fezzi's bit before it really started.
So he was mad at Earl for playing.
Well, because Earl was playing it to the point where he was going to go talk to the bosses. They want to sit down and talk to him, and Fezzi was paranoid. Like the bosses don't know Earl, and Earl's going to blow up everyone's fucking spot.
Well, that was the whole thing.
So Fezzi's like, fuck. I heard the whole thing. Fezzi's like, fuck this. I can't let this fucking happen. It's going to take us all down because Earl is being Earl.
That's the whole thing. Earl is so fucking dumb. He doesn't realize we're under new management here. This isn't fucking, Elo isn't going to come in and go, oh, what happened with Earl? The fucking idiots did this or that. It's some guy who has no fucking clue that Earl does this.
Yeah.
I thinks that there was a big fight between the two shows. Doesn't have any idea of what the history of the two shows are. Thinks that, Danny and Earl are duking it out in here, and he fucking, body slammed them. Like, Danny fucking gave him a tombstone on the floor. And Earl is so dumb, he doesn't fucking realize, these are new bosses. They don't understand this shit yet.
Right.
And we're the bastard stepchildren anyway.
Well, they better get fucking Earl a helmet for today's show. I wouldn't even allow him in this building without some kind of hockey helmet on. I would say, Earl,
Roman war helmet.
You want to continue working here, you have to wear the helmet all the time. Like it should be where Poe is, and Earl checks into work. Here's your helmet.
I think we have a hard hat on the office.
Oh,
Maybe I'll dig it up.
absolutely.
Why didn't he faint when he got fucking jerked off? Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking, a little excitement. He didn't faint then.
Yeah.
Any conflict, controversy, anything he's embroiled in, he fucking just faints out of it. You make a great soldier.
I was confused by the whole thing on Friday. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm like, that's either he either passed out or he's a damn good actor. What the fuck is he doing in radio?
I say he's got to wear the
act that
Kevlar.
well?
I say he's got to wear the Kevlar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's heavier.
Yeah, Earl's got to wear that at all times now.
Jim Norton. Look at Jim. Yes. Wow, Soldier Jim.
Let's say hi to Brian in Indiana.
I don't want to march, Sarge. My hat is heavy. Holy shit.
It's a heavy hat.
Brian, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, boys.
Morning.
I think Earl, if you put all the Rocky movies together, I think Earl holds the record over how many times Rocky Balboa hit the canvas.
You know something? That line wasn't funny when you did it on Ron and Fez. And even Ronnie said it.
Wow.
Well, I tried.
Wow, why are you trying on two different shows? You're crazy.
That is crazy.
Let's go to Arizona. Mindy.
Hey, listen, if you listen to the replay, right after Earl fell, kind of off mic, he says he's fine like 3 times, and then a minute later he can't even talk.
Yeah, then he couldn't even talk.
Well,
He's like, I'm fine, and then he's like fluttering, and he does this all the time. This is bullshit.
It was a must listen on Friday, that's for sure.
Wow.
I listened to the replay like 3 times on Friday. I couldn't get enough of this damn channel.
Earl.
And usually I just escape this whole radio thing after the show's over.
Dude, I did not fucking believe him for a second. Not for one fucking second did I believe that he was in any kind of medical fucking problem.
I think that's why I was so like pissed about the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking around and I'm like, are you guys buying this? Like,
it's like,
because I've seen it happen a bunch of times.
That's why I was interrogating him, trying to get him to fucking say, where does it hurt on your head? What happened? Where exactly did you fall? What do you remember? And all of his answers were bullshit.
Right.
Fucking a vegetable in a coma could give me more. Okay.
Yeah. Is corporate done with us as far as this goes? Are we moving on? I would like the all clear fucking sign.
Yeah, it's fucking fine.
Doug, Arkansas, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Hey, I think if you add all the times Rocky hit the canvas, Earl holds the record.
Nice.
It's all in the delivery, baby.
I hear you. Michigan checking in. Chris, how are you?
Hey, I used to date a paramedic, and she used to pick up a lot of people who were faking it. They'd fake the fainting spells and stuff. And she said the trick to figuring out if somebody had actually fainted or they were faking it, to grab their arm, pick it up, and kind of drop it on their face. It kind of, goes off to the side, then they're faking it. If they actually lands on their face and smacks them in the face, then they're probably
your
out.
conscious reaction is going to be to avoid hitting your face.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I should have pulled out my hog and dropped it on Earl's mouth and nose.
Yeah, see if he fucking got up.
I win either way.
Oh.
Psycho Bob, Baltimore, how are you?
Good morning, boys.
Hey.
Hey, I think you need to change his name from Black Earl to Blackout Earl.
Yeah, his new name is Blackout Earl. Very good, sir. Let's say hi to Matt in Virginia. Matt.
Hey, Jimmy asked a question, how did those goats escape from predators? Well, they don't. They were bred to be attacked by predators, hence the name scapegoat to protect the valuable livestock.
Wait, those were created by people?
Yes, so that they get eaten and not like the valuable horses and cattle.
But how did they breed how did they just say, let's make them fall asleep?
Well, they just have one goat that does it, and it looks like something good, and then you just keep breeding that goat to get that trait. I don't know exactly how they did it, but they found that trait and started breeding them.
How did they make the sleeping goats? The goats just fall asleep.
I don't know. Let's go to Boston. Scott.
Hello.
Hey, Scott, how are you?
What's up, boys? How you doing?
Good.
I think I was so annoyed on Friday because I didn't have a phone that I could call in. Earl, I didn't believe him for 1 second. This is his version of the race card, where maybe he did pass out at one point, but now anytime it benefits him or saves his ass or keeps him from getting in any kind of trouble, I think this is his kind of way of playing that card where now he's safe, where you can't really touch him.
Well, I'm sure Ron and Fez are going to have a hell of a show today as they dissect this whole thing further.
Yeah, I just started getting into Ron and Fez, a couple of months ago, and I remember Earl from the old days back at the other show.
Right.
But he's just so incompetent. It's unbelievable. And I was screaming at my radio on Friday because I didn't have a phone. He was so full of shit.
Right.
But I don't know. Anyway, thanks, guys. Jimmy, love you. You're the best.
Thank you.
And I love your book.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Be good.
Let's go to Matt in Arizona. Matt.
Hey, Hope, it's about time now that you give the official apology to Ron Bennington for even giving this guy a second chance with him.
I apologized to Ronnie a few times, but when I was offering up Earl, I said, it wasn't like, rah, here's Earl, the savior of your radio show. It was like, I was like, what else you got going on, Ronnie? That's sort of how it was presented. I don't want it to be confused. It wasn't like, oh, my God, Earl has changed. Because we all knew Earl from NEW, you know, and nothing really changed there. I knew Earl was going to be out of work soon, and I'm like, well, I think I presented it as you could at least start with Earl.
Yeah.
I didn't know, 3-4 years later, he'd still be...
Hold on to the guy.
With the Earl thing. But, I do apologize to Ronnie once again. Let's say hi to Bill in Charleston. Bill?
Hey, I just wanted to say that Danny had the line of the day Friday when Earl said he was going to go ape shit and Danny offered him the bathroom key.
Yeah, that was absolutely the line of the day.
Yeah. That made me laugh all weekend.
There was some foreshadowing, too, because what did I say? There's going to be a kill screen? A Donkey Kong kill screen?
Donkey Kong kill screen
coming up. And then who said, well, you got your Donkey Kong kill screen? Who was it? Dave's wife, right?
Yeah, to be fair, it was I was thinking that very line, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to keep my mouth shut in case this is serious.
Yeah.
And then me joking about it probably digs my hole even bigger, so I'm just going to shut my dumb mouth.
All right, let's say hi to Jay in Atlanta. Jay.
Hey.
Hey.
Why? No, wait a minute. Earl passed out when he smelled Febreze, but he doesn't pass out when he smells liquid ass.
Oh, yeah.
Some people were speculating that, too, that the liquid ass smell made him pass
he's a faker,
out.
man.
That crap is awful. We're going to take a couple days off from the liquid ass.
Oh, a couple of days, please. I don't want to smell that again.
That stuff is just
horrid.
I did not take a day off from the liquid ass, by the way.
What'd you do?
I had liquid duties.
Oh. I thought you did. All right. Brett in California.
Made your own.
Yeah. Play the home game.
Hey, I blame Opie. You shouldn't have let him near satellite radio. He knew what he was about way back in the old days.
Yeah, but it was Ronnie's decision in the end.
No, but you're the boss, man. You're the big guy.
I'm the boss, all right.
That's what I hear.
It was Ronnie. Ronnie had no one else, is what it comes down to.
Oh, dude, hit Craigslist. Anybody, shit.
Craigslist. You want to produce for the Ron and Fez show, and you got good
I'm
cans.
Uh,
there, man. I could be there in 6 hours, and I could fuck the show up just as bad as he does. I'm sure of it.
Well, I guess we just wait for Ronnie to make a decision. That's what we wait for now.
Hey, boys, have a good day.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Let's see. There's no victims. There's just there's no volunteers. There's just victims. How does that go?
No victims, only volunteers.
Only volunteers. There you go. Let's say hi.
They say that about people that are always in abusive relationships.
Yeah, right. That they get themselves into that on...
No victims, volunteers.
Yeah, not even on purpose, but just some psychological fucking problem. It's like these chicks that just have the same douche boyfriend all the time.
Yeah.
Different face, different name, but same like either abusive or fucking selfish or whatever. It's like, hey, maybe it's you. Maybe you're searching these guys out.
I think in most cases you don't want a better relationship. That's all you know, and that's all you want. So you just do the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's like there's something about, instead of leaving, they prefer the victim status, and yet they're showing up. It's like, just stop showing up, just leave.
I have someone in my family, I'm convinced they never want to be better or happy, because that's too scary.
I got no mercy to people like that. It's like, you know what? I got sober at a young age, so I've had to do a lot of shit for my... You know what? People that just want to stay sick, fuck them.
Yeah.
I got no fucking mercy for them.
Who's that guy? Man in the mirror, Opie?
We can do jokes if you want to do jokes.
Oh, come on. It's funny.
No, it's Tony in Pennsylvania. Tony.
Hey, boys. How you doing?
Earl's here? Earl.
Daniel?
What's up, Tony?
Daniel there? Is Daniel there?
Yeah,
Hi.
Daniel's here.
I just wanted to say Danny could have saved face during the Guitar Hero battle. He could have pulled this charade just like Earl.
I did. That's why I lost. Right in the middle of the song, I just passed out. That's the only reason why he beat me.
The Xbox passed out. A lot of controversy over the ending of that. But you're practicing, right, for the big rematch?
Yes, actually. I have started my practice.
All right, where's Earl? Earl's got to put on his helmet and come on in here.
Put on his helmet.
We're discussing the Earl situation from Friday.
I have a feeling this is going to annoy me.
What, the Earl thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here comes Earl. He's putting his helmet on.
Helmet on. There's Earl. Keep the helmet on. We don't want to injure
yeah, Earl, I mean,
that very vulnerable skull.
We could lose our careers over your fainting or your passing out shit. So what's going on, Earl?
Said, I'm okay. And I told corporate not to let no one go down on this at all.
Not to let no one go down. That sounds like double negative.
Obama's coming in, so he can talk like this now.
What are you
No,
talking
I mean, I just said it was an accident. That they don't come down on you guys. It was an accident. That's all I can say.
So what happened?
Well, I mean, as far as what they asked me,
what happened on Friday to you, Earl Douglas?
See, that's the thing that's kind of. I mean, they checked me out.
What happened in studio? Did you pass out? Did you fake passing out? Were you knocked out? What are you saying?
I swear to God, I don't remember what happened.
You have to remember what happened.
Don't. I really don't. I swear to God, I don't remember.
Do you have an achy head today?
No.
But if you got knocked out and you don't remember, when you have some kind of sensitive bump on your head?
Yeah. I don't remember. I really do not remember.
Is there any spot on your head that is sensitive? Sore?
I mean, I had a little dent on the side of my head.
How can you tell? We've all seen your dents all these years.
Do you realize?
Well, honestly, I swear to God.
But do you realize something? You went to the hospital. They checked you out. You're talking amnesia. You're talking a head injury-induced amnesia, which would have shown up at the hospital. It didn't show up. So how do you not know what happened?
I'm telling you guys, I swear to God.
What do you remember?
I remember talking to you.
What were you saying to me?
We were talking about Fez. That I'm here to basically protect Fez from anything that was happening.
Yes.
That and
you're ready to beat me up over a dumb bit. You're like, I'll do whatever it takes to protect Fez.
But outside,
and you fucking fell asleep on the floor. You didn't protect Fez at all. I fucked his mouth and ass.
And
loved it.
I mean, I wish I could give you more guys, but I don't.
You were
remember.
where E-Rock is, and you were showing your chest to me like, I'll do anything. And do you know, as you were like, quote, trying to protect Fez, fucking Sam was behind your back squirting the shit out of him with the liquid ass stuff, and he couldn't say anything because he was doing the I can't talk bit.
That I didn't. I was looking at you. I was talking with you.
And then Danny came around, and then you guys weren't even grappling. And next thing you know, you're out cold on the ground.
It was like
you don't remember any of this. Come on!
I swear to God, I don't.
Picture the worst wrestling match you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, right.
And it wasn't even close to being that good.
It's the primetime Sam Roberts match.
So,
that's when you said worst wrestling match I'd ever seen. It was that one.
I mean, whatever it was an accident, and I'm sorry.
But Earl, you're going to get everyone fired.
I don't. And I told those. I said
psychologically, there's something going on with you. Do you pass out or not?
I had a situation where I was
kind of
fainting.
looking at videos over the weekend because there was such confusion after Friday's show, and Ronnie's like, no, he does the fainting goat thing. So I went on YouTube and I popped in, and there's a couple videos of you fainting. So
Yes.
are you actually fainting? And why?
I had an issue of fainting. I had a CAT scan done on it. And
what did they say?
They said it was like some type of sinus condition. I took antibiotics, and after that, I was fine.
You had a sinus condition that was making you pass out.
I don't know. That's what they told me.
Like
they gave me antibiotics. I took it for 10 days, and after that, I was fine.
It seems like when you stress, when you get stressed, you faint.
Yes, that seems to be the thing.
And is that real or not? Or are you just trying to get out of stressful situations?
I can only tell you the situation. That's what the doctors told me.
How many times have you passed out? I can honestly say I've never passed out in my life.
I don't know. I mean,
I've gotten lightheaded a couple times. Like, whoa, I might
here
pass
a couple
out.
of times.
Oh, definitely a few times on the Ron and Fez show.
Why do you keep going to sleep, bro? Why do you keep making seepins?
Seepies.
But again, I want to say I am sorry. I told corporate, don't come down on these guys. It was an accident. And
Then what did you tell corporate?
I told corporate that it was an accident. It was just
what part of it was an accident?
Again, it was like me, I guess, falling down. It was an accident. It was an accident.
Do you think that I physically did anything to you, Earl, that would have caused you to hit your head? Do you think that do you feel that I implied force in any way?
Danny, I don't want anything to happen to you.
I get it, but I'm asking a question.
That doesn't matter. If it's perceived that Danny did something, he could be in trouble.
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make, though.
And did you tell corporate that you don't remember anything?
They said, and I told them it wasn't. It was from this show. It was not their fault at all.
What'd you tell them? That you don't remember, just like you told us?
I said it was an accident.
If I'm a
It was
corporate
an
guy
accident.
and you're coming to me going, I don't remember what happened, I'm like, holy shit, the boys knocked him out. That's what I would think as a corporate guy.
I said it was an accident, and
What was an
please do
accident?
not come down on the guys at all.
What
Really
part
mean
was the
that.
accident?
Because me falling was an accident. It was no worse than me. It would have been. It was no different, I guess, than me slipping and falling.
I am so fucking confused. I just want to understand this whole thing. Because, like, your acting was pretty damn good on Friday, so I'm thinking,
acting...
Earl, I'm getting a communique from a female police officer who I know, and she's not exactly on your side here. He looks like every black man in jail who fakes a pass-out or seizure to avoid going to the county.
Yeah.
And then a minute later, she's yelling, please yell, you fucking faked it, you fucking coward.
Yeah.
She's not happy with you, Earl.
Earl, when you get stressed out, what happens to you? You have to leave the situation? We've seen that over the years. I can't count how many times you ran out on us at NEW. So is this the next stage of that, where now you just pass out to get out of the situation?
Yeah, you used to just leave the situation. You'd be like, nope, you hang up and then disappear. We'd be like, where's Earl? He's on a sticker stop.
Right.
He couldn't find it, and then he just decided to not answer the phone and not show up at the stop. And
yeah, and people are now more frustrated that you're not even giving any answers. You told corporate you don't remember on Friday. That's not good for us.
What I said was, do not come down on the guys. Danny, you did nothing.
How do you know if you already told them I don't remember anything from Friday? Were you faking, Earl?
No.
From beginning to end.
As far one thing, I remember one thing, and then the next thing I'm on my back.
Did you remember me kind of cupping your cock and balls while you laid there?
No.
Well, that did happen.
With that military...
But Danny, you didn't do anything,
Right.
and again, I'm sorry. I am terribly sorry for everything.
So maybe you should resign to save everybody else's asses.
Like whatever the ramifications are, if anything comes down, have it come down on me and nobody else.
Well, I don't think you should get in trouble for falling down, even though you have a military helmet on, which would make you Sergeant Bilker.
Yeah. Get it? Where's this bump on your head?
There's one right here.
I thought you said it was a dent.
Yeah. What's that lump of shit on your shoulders?
Wow.
And again, Danny, you didn't do
spent a half
Danny,
hour on this. I still
Danny,
don't understand anything.
I'm being serious. I mean, I don't want anything to happen.
I don't need you to tell me that I didn't do anything. I was there. I know I didn't do anything.
I'm
Earl, take the fall.
What's the note say, Earl?
Take the.
What's the note say?
What does the note say?
Say that you faked it. That's all it says.
Who asked me to read that?
It's not what it said.
What's it say?
What does it say, Iraq?
Apparently, there are people in the back who wish Earl would just admit that he faked this so this whole thing could end. He says it's an accident, but he's not admitting that he faked it.
So you think what happened was Earl might have got a slight bump, like nothing, and then completely played it up.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you get so? The only other thing I could think of is you got so stressed out, you passed out, and hence falling to the floor.
I'm not even giving him credit for that. I think, Earl, this is my own opinion, whatever. I think you took a topple, you ended up on the floor, and then played it up like, all right, I'm down here, let me just play it up. I'll flutter the eyes, I'll do this, I'll have a lack of memory, and with absolutely no physical injuries showing whatsoever.
And then I think he was in it. He was playing it up so much, and he was in the shit so deep that he passed the point of no return.
Yeah,
couldn't just be like, oh, okay, I'm fine. So he forced the issue and forced, EMS, and like he had to go with it so that it would look like it was legitimate.
Because I noticed the second the EMTs showed up and brought in the little chair, you really started getting better. You, at that point, were like, all right, no, I'm fine. You get up, you get in the chair, I saw you.
I wish I was that smart, but I'm not. I will.
So how'd you feel the rest of the weekend?
Okay, I guess. I'm embarrassed. I'm mortified.
You got
by
a
the whole
clear
situation.
bill of health from the hospital. No concussion, nothing.
And your head doesn't hurt at all. Let's just clear that up. It doesn't hurt, right?
I feel fine. I feel fine.
Well, because before you said that you didn't feel anything. You said you didn't feel anything at the hospital when you were sick.
Earl, I would call in sick today, man. You're going to get a beating.
All I know is that I've been punched in the face hard.
Again,
and I haven't passed out, and it hurt for weeks.
Again, I feel horrible about the situation. I don't want anybody to get in trouble.
Silence.
Yeah, you wrecked Fez's bit.
Your
whole job was to protect the bit, and in the end, you caused the end of the bit.
They threatened me with a possible firing because I had the ambulance call. I've been threatened with being let go.
Jim, I'm terribly sorry.
I was worried about you.
Yeah, because Jim was concerned.
And I appreciate it.
And they're making me pay for it because it's not covered.
Why don't you go around the room and say sorry to everybody?
I really am sorry.
Here's
Jim,
something else I want to know.
Anthony, sorry. Opie, sorry. Danny, I'm really, really sorry.
Here's something else I want to know, and I want an honest answer. Was our boss listening to the show and heard the turmoil and came by, or did somebody call him and have him come by? And by someone, I mean Steve Carlisi. Steve, if you would please come in. I would like to know, Steve.
The former. He heard and called and said he was coming over.
That's not how he said it to us.
Well, that's exactly the truth.
Okay, you didn't call him and say, hey, this is going down.
Nope.
Why?
All right.
A communique?
No. I just there were speculation as to why the boss came over, but as long as okay. Jimmy's pointing at your wiener.
No. Did he answer right away when you called?
Some of the calls coming in, we can't get to all of them. If he had a concussion, he'd still be in the hospital. This guy crashed a bike at 75 miles an hour, remembers everything.
70.
Everything. Earl's full of shit. You could easily find out if Earl was lying. How? Let's go to this one. Sick Vic, New York, what's up?
Hey, boy.
And by the way, for the people that think it was a bit all from beginning to end, you are so wrong, I can't even tell you. The bit part might be if Earl was playing all of us. But we had nothing to do with this ahead of time.
I bought it hook, line, and stinker.
Hey, listen, taking a week off last week, that was the epitome of why I took off. And if you talk to Jimmy the Greek, he'll tell you that Earl was raised as an scapegoat for all your sick society up there.
Sick society.
That was great. It was fun watching you spiral aimlessly out of control.
Yeah.
How can we find
horrible delivery?
Horrendous.
How can we find out if Earl was lying? Let's say hi to Rich in Maryland. Rich.
Hey boys, how you doing?
Good, Rich.
Jimmy, you're awesome.
Thanks, Rich.
Listen, guys, I wanted to say that it's very easy to figure out whether this guy is full of shit or not. It's very clear that he played this thing up and that he, made this so much bigger than it really is. But to know whether he's really lying or not, just run a voice stress analysis on some of the tapes that you have of him answering the questions. That's something Stunt Brain can look up online, or get a polygraph expert to come in the whole system is portable. Bring somebody in and run a test on the guy. I'll find out the truth.
Voice stress might be tough because he said so little after.
Yeah.
He only said a couple of words.
No, I mean, it's like, talking about it now.
No, didn't he mean for the incident? He meant the tape, right? I mean, now is different.
I'm not sure.
I think you meant how he's talking about it now. You can pick up on some stuff. Earl, why don't you like do the channel a favor? Just resign. I mean, just take the hit for everybody.
Yeah, because I'm already in very deep water.
I would take the hit, resign, live on our show, because we certainly could use the ratings. And then put your helmet on the console and just walk out.
I mean, again, I don't want anybody losing their gigs. And I said that to everybody. Everyone at corporate, I said that to. And again, I'm terribly sorry.
But if you resign right now, then it all goes away, because then you finally have, taken the fall.
And, if that's what it takes,
I'm saying that's what it's going to take.
I've been threatened with relief of my duties for what they said was inappropriately calling or having called an ambulance.
A bambulance.
How about this?
Earl needs a bambulance.
You don't even. It's not even fair to Ron Fez. So I suggest you resign to save the channel. And why don't you tell Ronnie what your decision is at noon today?
All right.
Which, by the way, will get everyone talking. See, I told you it was a bit. No, it's not a bit.
And again, I wish.
I want you to think long and hard, and then I want you to, if you're not going to resign, you better have a damn good reason to tell Ronnie why you're not resigning.
We've actually
maybe they could place you somewhere else in the big organization.
I mean, I can't say enough how I didn't want to put anybody on this show and on our show and in weird positions.
Well, Earl, when we talked about it beforehand, you said that at the end you would just acknowledge that you were kidding, and you didn't.
Were you?
I want to say,
were you playing it up at all?
A little bit.
At all. It is radio. It's show business. Were you playing it up at all that you were doing a little worse than you really were?
It's okay if you are. Who cares? It's part of the bit.
We all, we all do it. What is this? Is this
more Earl fainting for no reason?
Oh, there it is. There's the eye thing.
We all like showbiz.
If that's real. You got a real issue.
And I had it checked out, and
there's nothing.
And they sent you home in an hour and a half out of a New York hospital. You couldn't have less wrong with you.
Faster.
Yeah.
Now they think about it.
I spent 6 days once for a hangnail.
Yeah.
That's right, Earl. Good joke.
It was the great hangnail incident.
Oh, boy.
I'm watching you.
I should have a funny bone implanted. Thanks.
That's funny.
What goes on with you, man?
Physical problems, I guess. I don't know.
But you don't.
No mental problems.
You don't have physical problems. They've been checked out.
You have mental problems, that's for sure.
That brain of yours has been scanned. Must have had to set that fucking thing for deep penetration.
Same thing they're looking to find the Big Bang with. They like the Hubble of fucking brain scan things. See through all the fucking fog and dreck.
Yeah. Dreck. John in Jersey. Johnny.
Hey, what's going on, boys? Love you, love the show.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Hey, I was thinking maybe Earl could write a book called If I Was Faking It.
Yeah, your own OJ
Explain the
book.
entire thing top to bottom.
Yeah, nice. We could get a book out of it, Earl.
It's like the old expression, Earl.
How I fucked up 202 by Earl Douglas. Carrie, a doctor. What's up, Carrie?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I was calling because it sounds like, if this is really true, it's something called vasovagal. You have this nerve that runs the entire course of your body, and under extreme situations, some people get really stressed, some people who have anxiety, this nerve can be stimulated, causing your blood pressure to drop, and when that happens, people can pass out.
So what can they do for him?
Well, there's really not much you can do for it.
Shoot him.
Talk about trying to limit your stress. limit anxiety, some anti-anxiety medications.
How about if he wears a 30-pound lead face mask?
Well, that doesn't hurt, I guess.
like heavier than the one they put on your chest for X-rays and cut eye holes in it. Make him talk through it.
But I mean, that's what it sounds like. That's why it won't show up on testing and things of that nature, because it really happens when you kind of squeeze your lower half of your body, which you're really stressed, and you stimulate this nerve.
What nerve is it, madam?
The vagus nerve.
Vagus?
Hey, the vagus nerve.
Is it in the cock muscle?
It's called a vasovagal reaction is what it is.
So if we squeeze him really tight, will he pass out?
No, it's usually involved the squeezing of your abdominal.
Is that why people pass out when they're trying to really force a shit sometimes?
That's exactly what happens.
I've woke up many times, like laying on my side on the bathroom rug with a fucking an anaconda hanging out of my ass crack, and it's got like little fucking rug fuzzies on it. I don't know what happens. I sometimes bang my head on the door jamb, and there's a giant doo-doo festering behind me like a tail. Sometimes I feel like a monkey. I run around making chimp sounds.
Not even cut off. It's still like perfectly in your ass.
You know what happened? It was going to get cut off, but as I was pushing this giant stool out, it like snaked along the rug and hit the toilet and just stopped, and then backed up into my honey hole. And I bang my head. You talk. I'm kidding.
She doesn't even want to deal.
No, she doesn't want
I bang my head on the door
funny.
jamb, madam. Well, now my duty has fuzzies on it.
Mike has noticed something we noticed probably for over 10 years now. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, the one thing, and I'm not there to see his face like you guys, thank God, but it's listening to him answer your questions, just the evasive verbal tics. You ask him a direct question, and it's just, I just don't want to get anybody in trouble. I don't know. He just can't answer a goddamn straight question.
Earl has always been like that. It's such a frustrating thing.
Resign,
Earl. We're all saying, if someone says I was faking, I would raise bloody hell.
Exactly.
I'm just sitting there. I'm just trying not to get. I'm not trying to get. You're trying to save face. I'm just trying to.
Finish your sentence, Earl. You're just trying to what?
I'm owning up to it. I'm like, I am 100% responsible. It was not Danny's fault.
100% responsible.
For what? Get the boys in trouble.
Yeah.
For what? For faking the whole thing?
I instigated the whole situation, and I'm sorry.
Did you play it up a little when you're on the ground? That's what you're talking about.
Admit it.
So, if everyone thinks I was playing it up, then yes, I was playing it up.
No, what's the truth?
If everybody thinks...
see,
you're like a martyr.
I'm not being a martyr. I'm owning up to the situation.
You're not.
I'm sorry.
You're not saying. You're trying to spare yourself the embarrassment of, which I can understand. I get embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed by the whole situation.
But there's people's jobs on the line here.
And I don't want. And again, I don't want anyone losing their gigs. It's the last thing I want.
Well, I've been threatened with a disciplinary removal from my duties because I'm the one that authorized the calling of the ambulance.
Any disciplinary things, have it come down on me. No one else. Anyone else. Have it come down on me.
I one time fell off the toilet.
There's no
and struck my head on the sink basin.
Cut him off at the pass and just resign, and then it goes away, Earl.
And there was a curly duty that accidentally caulked the door shut, and I almost starved to death. My duty caulked the door shut, Earl.
You gotta watch that vagus nerve.
Yes, you do.
When you're making duty.
They call me Caulk Duty Norton, and it's embarrassing.
Let me say hi to Don in West Virginia. Don.
Vagus nerve and my ass. It was like a slot machine paying off.
It sure was. It became Atlantic Shitty.
Don in West Virginia.
Yeah, by having that woman doctor in there a minute ago, you gave Earl a way out. Now he's got this vagal nerve thing that's wrong with him. You can't be proven, so now he can faint and do whatever he wants. Earl, you have your way out. You got a vagal problem.
Yeah, you got a vagal problem. Let's say hi to John in Westchester. John.
Hey, guys. Hey, if you notice, when Earl is answering these questions, he sounds exactly like the guy from Fargo when that guy gets interrogated by the cop. He's like, well, I'm cooperating here, you know?
You're right. This is him passing out again?
This is another video. It's a completely different one.
What video? Thank you, sir.
This is when they were trying to cure Fezzi's fear of heights.
Right.
And they pretended like they were going to, lift Earl out the window, and he decided that he couldn't go along with the joke, and he passed out.
Wait, go back. Earl, what's going on, man? Earl. Like they were actually going to throw you out a window. That would be murder, you dummy.
Your name should be Girl Douglas. You act like a little bitch.
Black girl.
So what happens here, Danny? They have the window open.
Yeah, they got the window open, and Fezzi's kind of holding
Earl.
Fez is like on his back, and then they decide that they're gonna let Fez go, and then try to lift Earl out, and he decides that he's now fainted. Like the stress was too much for him, and he's now passed out on the floor with his head on the floor.
What is going on?
Maybe Earl faints a lot. Why do you faint so much?
Again, it was.
Stop fainting.
I wish I would. I don't want to
stop fainting.
I don't want to do it. Jesus Christ! I want to be healthy. I want to be. But it happens.
Let's go to Matt in Illinois. Matt. Yeah, but I don't feel like getting fired over your "it happens" thing. Let's go, Matt.
Hey guys, this is so frustrating. Earl, why don't you just make an on-air statement saying exactly what everybody wants you to say? Danny had nothing to do with this. I fell on my own.
I already said that.
I hit the floor. Come on, seriously. You stop saying it was an accident. Yeah, everybody knows it wasn't an accident.
I would imagine if you do have this fainting thing, the best I could come up with, which isn't that great, is the stress was too much, and then all of a sudden you passed out, falling on your head because now you're not standing on your own. That's the best I could come up with.
Danny is completely not at fault. Absolutely not at fault.
Well,
I will say it.
We all know that,
and I'm admitting it.
But you're admitting something we all know. What we don't know, but have really huge suspicions of, is that the whole thing was a work. That once you hit the ground, you decided, I'm going to play this up now, like I'm completely knocked out, and everything that happened during that event points to that. And if you use Danny Ross's razor, you will notice that the simplest answer...
It's actually Occam's razor.
I call it Danny Ross's razor now. I don't know who Occam is. I don't know if it's Occam president. I don't know what he does.
Yeah. Tell him you don't want to use his razor. He'll understand. Believe me.
We got Dennis in Hoboken. He has this syndrome, this vagal, or whatever the hell it's called, syndrome. Dennis.
Yeah, no, I don't have the syndrome or anything. I simply had it happen once. It was actually triggered, I'm kind of embarrassed to say, by brain freeze. I drank a frozen drink so fast that that headache was so bad that caused that reaction. And I did pass out, and my head hit the floor, and it was hurting for weeks afterwards. Oh, and also, I do remember everything that happened right before, right up to it, and then right after.
Drinking that delicious Slurpee or something, and
it was right in the line of Opie. It was a strawberry daiquiri. It wasn't a martini, but
brain freeze.
It did the job. So it only happened once, and there is a treatment for it. You can get on what's called a tilt table, and they tilt you and they test if your blood pressure is good enough. So it is treatable, and the most important thing is I remembered everything.
Yeah, psychologically something's going on with Earl. Let's say hi to Clint in Ohio. Clint?
Yeah, you could tell if Earl's lying or not, because he would have been vomiting. One time I got hit when I was playing football on both sides of my head, and I remembered everything, but about a half hour later I started vomiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
He
scare
didn't
me.
vomit nothing.
Oh,
He's
you
a
scare me,
liar.
man. You scare me. I don't know what's going on with you.
I used to vomit. A lot of times I would have this thing where I would push really hard while making a duty, and I would fall off the toilet. And then one time I woke up, and I was on all fours.
Yeah.
And I had a big curly one hanging out, and I looked like one of the Wizard of Oz flying monkeys. I even had the little hat on. I don't know who did that.
Who put the hat on your head?
I don't know. Somebody came in and placed the hat on my head.
A practical jokester.
Yeah, because I looked like a flying monkey. I had a big duty tail sticking out the back, and had cleaning products on the end of it because I knocked them over under the shelf. I knocked over my Ajax. I had duty with Ajax on the tip.
Was half of your tail flat from sitting on the floor, or with the impression of tile in it?
No, what it was I fell off the toilet. Apparently, what people who heard, there was a large group of cheerleaders in the next room, and they heard me. Apparently, I went, no! And then they heard a thud, and I was on all fours with my head against the wall.
Oh, okay.
And the giant duty tail. They said when they opened the door, it continued coming out like Play-Doh. Like my body, it was like when you die.
Like when you light one of those 4th of July snakes on the ground.
Snake. They said they were yelling at me, and I wouldn't move, but I just kept shitting. I quote one girl, she said, "We thought you were going to shit until the Messiah came back." Which I thought was an unnecessary comparison to make, because, miss, that could be years. And
it's unrealistic.
Yeah, there was a little tile mark, but it was probably about 2 feet into the duty.
Oh, okay.
There was a little tile print, and I had knocked over my, I was drinking a Diet Root Beer, and I had knocked that over, and the bottle cap got stuck in the log. So when I would walk, I would hear that, you know that bottle cap scraping on the fucking tile sound?
Yes.
Gregory Hines put my shit on his shoe and did a little dance, and then he promptly died. As he should have. Fucking asshole he was.
So let's go to Walt the trucker, the only person trying to stick up for you, Earl. Walt.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
Hello, Walt.
Hey, buddy. Anyway, listen, I got a tape of when I was a kid. Me and my next door neighbor was boxing. We was barely touching each other. Now, he hit me, and I woke up 2 hours later.
Jesus.
I don't remember none of it. I never had a mark on my face. He didn't hit me hard. And I watched the video, all right, 2 hours later before I come to my senses. All right, so, Earl, you stick to your guns. If you were white, they wouldn't say nothing to you.
You can say that again.
I mean, I think something happened, Earl, that has really nothing to do with this radio show or the Ron and Fez show, and I'm more concerned about that. Like, there's some weird thing going on with you. This whole passing out thing under stress. Let's say hi to Nathan in Georgia.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Nathan.
I'm an EMT in Georgia. When there's a head injury or a neck injury, there's some pretty specific procedures, questions, if you will, that the EMTs would have asked him in the ambulance. He says he doesn't remember anything. I want to know when his memory starts again, if that was in the ambulance, and were there some specific things they asked him.
The last thing you remember was talking to me, confronting me to protect Fez.
But when
did your memory come back after that?
Like counting the lights, pretty much. I'm looking up, and I remember saying, "What happened?" I remember asking, like, "What happened?"
Earl, was that?
I think I asked to be helped up.
Or was that in the ambulance?
No, it was in here.
Okay, so his memory returns when he's in the studio. Is that correct,
Yeah.
Earl?
Can you hear this guy, Earl?
Then this question is for Earl.
Earl, put your headphones on. The guy's talking to you.
Can't put it over the helmet.
So take the helmet off, Earl. Hold on, sir. The Earl didn't realize you were talking to him.
My question is, give Earl, what were the first 3 or 4 things that the EMTs did in the ambulance? Because clearly your memory returned when you were in the studio. So go ahead and tell me.
Well, I remember getting wheeled out. They asked me questions. They just asked me basic questions.
The ambulance.
They were just getting all my information, like my name, my address, stuff like that.
Okay, were you able to give that to them?
Yes.
Did they ask you some very specific questions that you would remember if your memory's back, Earl? If they really believed you had this type of injury, they're very, very specific questions. All right, you know what? Forget it. He's lying. That's it.
I mean, get what? I'm answering the question. You asked me what they asked me. They asked me my basic information. They asked me.
Earl, no one knows. Oh my God, whatever. You're so vague. No one knows.
I'm not vague. They asked
no
me
one knows the first thing about you.
Vague.
You've always been vague ever since I've known you.
What else do you want me to tell you?
Everything.
What did they ask me? They asked me my name. They asked me my address. They asked me my social security number. They asked me who could I contact. That's what I asked.
We just spent an hour on this.
Being vague. How am I being vague?
We just spent an hour on this. We didn't get anything done. I have no idea what I learned from this whole hour. You're like, you don't blame Danny, but you still say you don't remember. Like it's fucking a mess.
Yeah, I want to say it's one. I will take complete responsibility.
And when
It
I
was
said
my
that, your
fault.
complete responsibility would to actually resign. That's complete responsibility, by the way. So even that's vague. Like, I'll take complete responsibility.
If that's what it takes, then so be
More
it.
vagueness.
More vagueness.
We think you're crying crocodile tears, Earl.
Yes.
I don't know what you want me to say.
With you, it's the vagueness nerve.
All right, Earl, whatever. I feel bad for you. I would call in sick.
I'm
all hell's going to break loose starting at noon today. We didn't get anything done here. We're going to end with the Earl song that Brother Joe did. I think would be perfect.
That is a classic.
I'd continue, but we're not going to get anywhere with this.
I got to take my truck in and get the brakes done anyway. Sometimes I actually use them. When I have lately, they're making that sound. You know when you step on the brakes, it starts with that squeal, and you're like, I got a few days, and then like an hour later, it's going.
That could be your caliper grinding your rotor or whatever.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I looked at one of the rotors already. It might be beyond cutting.
Right.
It's a little grim.
Stupid me. That happened to me on an old car of mine, and I got once I got to where I was going, I got out of the car and I looked at it and I saw like the grooves that looked like a record. And dumbass me, I go, oh man, and I put my finger on it.
Oh, it's blazing hot.
Blazing hot.
Did it hurt?
You know what? Yeah, it did.
Not much friction. You know, a giant vehicle being stopped by that much metal.
It was a little hot.
Yeah, a little hot. I hope you had little groove burns in your fingertip.
To be honest, I don't think I left my finger there long enough.
Yeah.
But, you know, the short amount of time that my finger was in contact with that rotor, I felt the heat. Like, it was white hot, like to the point where it took my brain a second or two to actually process that there was pain happening.
Was it so hot it felt cold?
It's like, is that cold or is it hot?
Oh, man, that's the worst feeling.
When I was a kid, I popped in the cigarette lighter in my dad's car as we were driving somewhere, who the fuck knows where, and then I pulled it out, and it's cherry red, and I fucking put my pinky in there.
What an
and
asshole.
I had the little rings from a cigarette lighter.
I think we've all done that one.
On my pinky
I've done that one,
for
too.
months.
Did you yell?
Yeah, I started crying, and my
It's like a
father
little
hit me, said I was
bullseye
being
on your
stupid.
fingertip.
He goes, what did you think was going to happen, you idiot? And then, you know,
I remember one time
crying.
I had a frying pan, and it was poorly designed, and there was a piece of metal that was attached to the handle, and I went to grab the pan, but I went too deep on the handle, and I just touched this hot metal piece on my finger. Terrible.
One time I had a beanbag chair, and I threw it off a 30-story building, and it landed on a small group of elderly women, killed them.
Really?
Yeah. It was a Cleveland Browns beanbag chair. I had filled it with bowling balls because I thought it would be more comfortable in my sore hiney. Because the beans in the beanbag chair always got caught in my tuchus. So I threw a bag of bowling balls off the roof.
Some elderly?
Yes, there was a group of small, elderly, frail women playing pinochle right into the building. Killed 9 of them. 2 survived, but their legs were ruined. Paralyzed 2 of them.
Earl's lack of anything in the last hour was brought to you by DirecTV. Call 888-961-DirecTV. That's 888-961-DirecTV. DirecTV, yes. Earl, I don't know what to tell you. You frustrate the hell out of me. Always have.
Earl.
Always have. I don't know anything about you. After all these years, you can't even. I don't get it. I'm so confused by you.
I really don't know what to tell you. I've said.
I understand. You're going around in circles for another hour.
I'm
That's
not running
what I'm getting
circles.
at.
Did you fake it a little bit, Earl?
A little bit, right? A little bit.
Did you fake it a little bit?
All you know is confrontation. Next thing you know, you're waking up, right?
Did you fake it a little bit?
God's honest
Earl,
truth.
did you ham it up a little bit?
So when they try to throw you out the window, did you pass out then too?
I was freaking out.
So did you pass out?
Like, I honestly, I don't know why, but
See, more of this. Do you know what? Answer the question. Were you out?
Yes, I freaked out and passed out.
He might have passed out because of the confrontation, like the whole thing with
That's
Danny.
what I'm getting at. He might have, if this is a real medical issue, when the stress gets so bad, Because I'm trying to understand this. You passed out. Next thing you know, if Danny and you were kind of grappling a little bit, then all of a sudden you fall down. Now it looks like Danny might have, slammed you to the ground, which definitely didn't happen. I can tell you that much. That's the only thing I can come up with. I've seen the pass out videos, so I'm trying to understand. Is that something you're doing to get out of something, or is it a real issue?
It's a real issue. I just said it's a real issue.
So shouldn't you be getting more tests?
I mean,
really.
You're crying crocodile tears, Earl. It's not a real medical condition. My grandmother, rest in peace, had a medical condition that was genuine.
What was it?
She passed out a lot too. Whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I had a toy I would play with. It was an anvil on a chain. I would swing it wildly in the living room. And all of a sudden, whenever she would see that coming, she would pass out. Occasionally, it would strike her in the temple.
Who's a child gonna play with that? By the way,
It was a game. Did not last very long. It was a Milton Bradley's anvil chain. They were recalled very quickly.
I don't know how you pick it up as a child though and swing it around.
Some
You must have been strong, yeah.
It's a real chore. You usually get one good swing around and then it falls. Something tends to stop it. In my case, grandmother's head.
Oh God.
I'd like to thank the fainting goat for stopping by today.
Yes, Earl the fainting goat.
Thanks a lot, Earl.
I'm sure Ronnie will have more to say about this at noon. Possibly Fezzi, too, because he lost his shit on Friday. All right, Earl.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
I'm sorry, guys. I really am.
As George
For what,
Jefferson
we
says,
really don't know because you really haven't explained
Sorry,
shit.
everything.
Whatever. Here's the Black Earl song. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
I will resign.
I was born and raised in New York City, in a housing project way up in the hood. I dressed in dark clothing, so folks started calling me Black Earl. Oh, and they used to laugh about it, cause deep down they knew they called me that, cause I was as black as soot. I've always been a lazy man, a couch potato with a clicker in my hand. See, motivation I never had, hid in the shadows when the boss got mad. For 20 years I never got a raise. I'm 33 and I never been late. I look busy but I'm not, I'm just walking around. I pick up some papers and I put them back down. One day I'm gonna stop paying my rent, live in a refrigerator box, never get out of bed. I'm Black Earl, a genuine lazy bum. I'll always make it through hard times at any W. Then one day some lame brains came and took O&A away. And at the age of 33, I felt like I was carrying the weight of the whole station on my shoulders. And Ron and Fezzi knew what I was going through. Every morning I'd unlock the door, lay down and I sleep a little more. Then I put away the bathroom key. Everybody was depending on me. I eat a chicken wing with lemonade. Lord, give me strength to make another day. Times I felt I couldn't go on. Push a button, throw a switch, answer the phone. Got lost in the van, I did my PSAs. 10 minutes work gonna take me all day. I'm Black Earl, a genuine lazy bum. I'll always make it through hard times at any W. I could hear Stotso say, Black Earl, you're a genuine lazy bum. You'll always make it through hard times at any W. Ken and Jeremy say, Black Earl, you're a genuine lazy bum.